you got to do is give us a call at 256-503-4490. Talent Heating and Air, they're live, they're local, and you can find them online at talenthvac.com. Who doesn't need to save $1,600? Very easy to do. Again, Talent Heating and Air, the number and the web. That's 256-503-4490 or talenthvac.com. It's Talent Heating and Air. They're live, they're local. Give them a call today.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
There you go. It's a Tuesday edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, welcome into the show. 20 degrees in the Tennessee Valley right now. Your high today is going to be 41. We will see the sunshine today, but it's going to be deceiving. 41 degrees again, that high, 20 degrees right now. Talent Heating and Air can make it feel a little bit warmer. 256-503-4490. Give them a call today. Find them online, talenthvac.com. They can still give you a tune-up for $49. TVA will give you $50, so you're going to make a buck. And then if you need a new system, they got systems that's got $1,600 in rebates. Just ask them about it. Call Thomas, Terry, Jeremy, 256-503-4490. Talent Heating and Air, talenthvac.com. A lot of good stuff to get through this morning on a Tuesday edition of the show. Obviously, the College Football National Championship has the attention of those around the college football world, and then some. If you did not hear it, here is how it sounded, courtesy the final play, courtesy of the Indiana Sports Radio Network.
That back. Beck looks, throws field, and it is intercepted by Indiana. Wow, what a play! And it is Jamari Sharp who comes up with a pick, and he runs into the end zone. They're going to call a penalty. But Indiana call that only once.
That was the interception, and then the Hoosiers celebrate.
Network. The Reds, the richest story for Indiana football, comes to conclusion, and they are the national champions of 2026. What a football team.
What a football team, and what a football game last night, especially in the second half.
It was a heck of a game. I mean, it was the two best teams in the country that were playing the best. Indiana dominated the first half. I think they outgained Miami about 169-69. It was 10-0. Wasn't looking good for the Canes. They'd only rushed for about 20 yards, but they stayed with the plan and their big offensive line, and they were able to run the football with Fletcher and Tony last night in the second half, and they certainly stayed in the game, and they had an opportunity until the last under a minute. They were driving to potentially win it 28-27, but it wasn't meant to be. Indiana wins the game 27-21, and when they had to, the Hoosiers made the plays, both running the football on fourth down with Mendoza, and then also the back shoulder throws. They did a great job of executing. Beck was solid, but on that last drive, I'll be honest, I just never felt like Miami was going to win the game. I just didn't think so. Never led yesterday. They call that late hit there on the last drive when they allowed in the first half.
That one.
I started to call Mendoza on the sideline, figure out a cell number, be like, that's probably the same officiating crew that called the Bryce Young Tennessee game, when they hit him in the head 15 times and it was never targeting, according to these inbred hick Tennessee fans who wouldn't know a football from a basketball. But yeah, it was that was targeting. Like I mean, on one drive they hit him late 3 times.
Yeah.
But karma gets you. And the Canes weren't good enough. They weren't the best team in this game. They didn't win it. Nobody cares who finishes second. They'll never forget it. They didn't. I'm glad they didn't win, and I'm glad Indiana went 16-0. But it also shows Alabama where you got to go, what you got to do, how tough you got to be, how physical you have to be. There is no shortcuts. And it was interesting listening to the Chuck Oliver show on the way in this morning. Ever heard of Nick Saban before? I mean, Kirk Cignetti, he eats the same meal every day. He wears the same clothes every day. He doesn't have time to alter his schedule at all. Hello? Where you heard that before? Who do you think he's copying? He's copying the greatest coach of all time, who he learned from for 5 years. That's why his team looked just like Alabama, and that's why they were the best team in the country. Yeah. They're process-oriented, very physical, very fundamentally sound. And, I mean, were they perfect last night? No, but they made the biggest plays in all three phases. The block punt for a touchdown. They executed, made 2 field goals. Miami clanked a field goal. And then, they clanked it. Boy, that hit the thing, and it clanked. And then Indiana didn't turn it over. Now, they didn't dominate the line of scrimmage against Miami like they had against the other 2 opponents in the playoffs. No. But you thought that would be the case, though. Yeah, and then and not turning it over again was huge. And then their defense, the first half was spectacular. Yeah. They bent a little bit in the second half, but when they had to, they certainly forced that turnover late, and they won the football game. And you just got to give Kirk Cignetti and the Indiana program all the credit, man. They become the first-time national champion in 29 years. Yep. The Florida Gators were the last team to be the first national champion back in 96-97. That's right, when they beat Florida State in the rematch. Yep. That's correct. They started in 1899, did Indiana football. That's when they did it. Going into this year, Indiana only had 3 bowl victories. Yeah, ever. This year. 79, 88, and 91. Those were the 3 times that Indiana had won a bowl game. They won 3 games this year. I guess you could say 2 in the bowls and 1 in the playoff, 1 in the national championship game. So they did that. They got 3 in 2026. Let's see here. Fernando Mendoza becomes the first quarterback, not player, but the first quarterback to win the Heisman and the national championship since Joe Burrow in 2019. Yeah. But Devontae Smith is the last Heisman player to win the Heisman and a national championship in the same season. That's in 2020. Yeah. But he does join a list, of Fernando Mendoza, of players that have won the Heisman and national. Remember, that used to be the stigma, was if you win the Heisman, chances are you're not going to win the national championship. That was something for a while there. But Derrick Henry won it in 15, Jameis Winston in 13, Cam Newton in 10, Mark Ingram in 2009, Matt Leinart in 04, and then my third finger was for Devontae Smith, thanks, but Alabama did it 3 times. Not one, 2, 3. 3 times. But before that, so Matt Leinart was in 04, and then there was a huge gap. Yep. Charles Woodson in 1997 won the Heisman and the national championship in the same year, but they went from 97 to 04 with no Heisman Trophy winners winning a national championship. And then from Matt Leinart to Mark Ingram, you had to go 5 years. So there was a big gap there. Lots of times now recently, it's happened more often. But you go back, 1976, Tony Dorsett. So we go from 76 to 93. Don't you're giving it too much credit though. Back before he went to the Cowboys, he was Dorset. Just like Joe, it was Joe Theismann until he went to Notre Dame. They were trying to promote him for the Heisman, and all of a sudden miraculously became Theismann. So, and then Leon Hart. Yeah. In 49, then you go back in the 40s. I mean, all these people. Davey O'Brien started it all in 1938, by the way. Yeah. So there you go. The Big Ten, though, now has won 3 straight national titles for the first time in more than 80 years. 80. It only took them 80? You got to go 1940 Minnesota, wow. 1941 Minnesota, and 1942 Ohio State. Yeah, the way you listen to the national media right now, the Big Ten created football.
The Big Ten is on top of the college football world.
Yeah, I'm sure the preseason number one next year will be Oregon.
Well, I mean,
yeah, I'm sure it will be.
Because you can't put anybody from the SEC in there, can you? Preseason number one?
You can't put anybody anywhere right now. Nobody even knows who the hell is going to be on a football team. All I heard on the Chuck Oliver show was all these guys, well, he signed with so-and-so, but he may end up elsewhere. You know, wait until spring practice at least has one day of practice, and they're actually on a damn field somewhere before you start trying to get clickbait and put some stupid top 25 that's about as clueless as some of these people that write it.
Well, Curt Cignetti did have some smart words to say after the game last night. Here is the Indiana head coach.
Okay, hard-fought game. Give a lot of credit to Miami. It was a real gut check. We found a way. It's credit to our guys' resiliency to find a way to get that done. It's a great thing. Indiana winning the national championship 2 years into our tenure. You do it with people and a plan. Can't say enough about our senior leadership and the people we have in the locker room and the people we have on our staff and our strength and conditioning staff, support staff, and the commitment we received from President Witt and Scott Dolson. I would like to say our NIL is nowhere near what people think it is.
I could have told you that.
Throw that out. And this team really overcame a lot on the road in a lot of tight games and found a way to get it done. And we're 16-0, and we're 27-2 since Indiana, but we're 16-0.
16
national champions at Indiana University, which I know a lot of people thought was never possible. It probably is one of the greatest sports stories of all time, but it's all because of these guys and the staff. So proud of them, and it's a great night.
No doubt. I mean, I have no problem giving them their kudos. They earned it. The SEC, I think, was the best regular season league. It's the deepest, but that's not how that's not how you're judged.
Right.
You're judged on who the national champion is, and certainly it's Indiana. And Oregon had a really good team. So did Ohio State. I honestly thought when this whole bracket started, I wouldn't have been shocked if it was Ohio State and Indiana in a rematch in the national championship game, but the Sucks choked again in the playoffs. And, but they have won in 2014. They won last year. They won in 2002. So they're kind of like LSU. And since the year 2000, they have been a true championship contender. Now, before that, it was kind of like Michigan. They hadn't won anything in a long time, but then Michigan, it finally won one in 97 and then 2023. And now Indiana, joins the party. Before that, as Bill Bender told us, I guess it was Bubba Smith and Michigan State in 65 in the 60s. Of course, Alabama won one that year too. I don't think it was a unanimous situation. Right. But still, and that was also the year that Michigan State tied Notre Dame when they were both chicken crap and didn't want to. Basically, Notre Dame played for a tie because they thought they could win, part of the national title. So, and actually that was 66, but still, I mean, but Michigan State in that time period in the mid 60s, they were really good because they were one of the first programs that fully integrated, and they had some hosses on their team, like the aforementioned Bubba Smith. So, but again, it is what it is, but it goes in cycles. I think the SEC is going to be back, no question about it. And I'm glad that Coach Cignetti went on the record with that too, because I get kind of sick and tired of hearing, if you just can't spend $40 million, you just can't win a national. That's not what it is.
A la LSU now, who's rumored to have the most. They've apparently rumored to have topped Texas and have the most expensive roster in college football history now. Do the LSU Tigers.
That's his playoff victory total. None. So of course, going into this year, this was Cignetti's. So maybe Lane will finally not burn the popcorn and he'll do something. But
do you think
I'm saying is that Texas, they spent the most money last year. I'm almost positive, and they didn't even make the playoff. So stop equating it with how much money they spend and how many players they buy, because coaching and development is still the most important things. And hopefully Kalen DeBoer will make those adjustments, because right now the coaching isn't good enough at Alabama, and that's the biggest problem. It's not the NIL, it's the coaching. His assistant coaches aren't good enough. Fix it, or you'll be on the unemployment line next year, period.
Do you think because of the NIL, this Indiana story was spectacular this year? Now, the rise started last year, and the question was, what can Indiana do in year two? Can they back up last year's performance? Are they going to be as good as they were last year? And it wasn't until they go out to Oregon that I think people started believing in this Indiana team. And then they get to the Big Ten title game. They beat Ohio State. And it's like, okay, maybe this team really is for real. But do you think now this Indiana story, we will have more duplicate stories like this in college football because of NIL? That this story of a team not winning it all, and this is all a great story, and this is a movie script type of system type of thing. Will we have this more often now in college football because of NIL?
Well, I mean, we had Texas Tech in the quarterfinals. They got mauled, but they were there.
Right.
And they were there for two reasons: because they spent a lot of money and they're in a pissant league.
I'm thinking like Vanderbilt. I mean, the Vanderbilt story was good, but would Vanderbilt be Vanderbilt if NIL didn't exist?
I mean, they wouldn't be existing if it wasn't for COVID and some idiot people, because that's the only way that Diego Pavia with his basically he's got Social Security. That's the only way he's still playing. See, that's what I'm going to be fascinated by, because you can take these 6th-year guys, 5th-year guys, and that's what Vandy has done.
Yes.
And you can still keep going, but now they're going to be more like 4th and 5th-year guys. You're not going to have nearly as many as 6th and 7th years, and you're not going to have a Diego Pavia come along and just continue to keep playing, because the one thing that will give the Vanderbilts a chance to sustain and be good, and Indiana and things of that nature, is there are going to be players that stay in school. We already saw that Dante Moore do it with Oregon, because one, they don't want to play for the Jets and ruin their lives, and two, they're getting paid $5 million to stay in college. Because, 10 years ago, Dante Moore's going pro no matter what. Right. Because he's not making that kind of money.
You're going to make it in the NFL.
At least above board, but he probably wouldn't be making it below board.
Right.
But that's just, until they put guardrails on this, when they put the guardrails, and I do think eventually there's going to be guardrails, there always is. The thing is, there'll still be some guys that decide to stay in school. But again, I think it's prevalent right now because you can make really good money in some cases, maybe as much or more as you would get paid as a rookie in the NFL, since they do have a salary cap.
Right.
But again, don't forget, man, 20 years ago, the NFL didn't have a rookie salary cap, and everybody was coming in making all this money, and then they realized what insanity it was.
And then they put the structure in place.
The same thing is going to happen in college football. There's going to be something happen, but it'll be interesting to see, because Indiana has the right coach right now. If they continue to pay him and continue to fund the program, they should continue to be really good.
Right.
I mean, that's how you become really good. Gonzaga became Gonzaga because they hired two people, Dan Monson and Mark Few, and they committed to him. And that's why they have risen above mid-major status. I mean, Auburn, I'm glad I saw that logo. Auburn, made 2 Final Fours because they hired Bruce Pearl and they built a new arena. And then they committed to Bruce Pearl. If they hadn't committed to Bruce Pearl, he'd have bailed out. But in Alabama, hired Nate Oates. You got to find the right coach. Sometimes it takes a little luck.
And then commit to him.
You have to commit to them. And I think more schools are committing to the kind of things.
Let's get a break in. When we come back, we're going to get out to your phone calls, 256-576-4977. More reaction from the national championship game. We've got SEC basketball to talk about. We do have NFL football to talk about as well. Some news and notes there. But we've got a lot of other stuff to get through. We've only just begun. It's Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The crimson and white jerseys.
Front court to the rack and the play.
The sound of a buzzer beater.
Got it to go as the buzzer sounds.
The Roll Tide chant from the crowd. It can only be Alabama basketball. Join the Alabama Crimson Tide right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I'm Abraham here from my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental, and they have a brand new product for you. If you happen to be standing on a concrete or tile floor, Valley Equipment has the perfect cleaning solution for you. Whether it's new construction, daily work areas, or an area that's been neglected for too long, the Valley Equipment team of experienced professionals can help you choose the right floor scrubber or sweeper for your needs. Valley even has the right cleaning products for the job. Call Valley Equipment Rental today to learn more. Make a clean sweep with Valley Equipment Rental.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. Taking care of your property yourself can be a real headache. Eagle can handle it for you. They offer full landscaping services, irrigation, mowing, bush hog, and can install plants and trees, sod, and even landscape borders. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money. Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, now with Lynn Layton Ford Indicator, where we're jump starting January with low rates, low payments, and low prices on a great selection of new Fords. Right now, you can get 2.9% financing for 60 months, plus $2,000 customer cash on 25 F-150s, or choose $4,000 in total rebates instead. We've got new 25 Explorers with 2.9% APR for 60 months, plus $1,500 in total cash. Get 4.9% financing for 60 months on your choice of any new 25 Ford Bronco. Or choose a $2,000 customer cash bonus to get a new 25 Bronco Sport starting at under $29,000. And there's never any hidden markups or dock fees. We hope to see you soon at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com. All offers on select new Ford models with your good credit. Bronco Sport stock number example 27715T. See us for all the details.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Transfer portal news we found out during the break.
Shocking.
Alberto Mendoza, the brother of Fernando Mendoza,
He gone.
into the portal for Indiana.
So the Mendoza family will be cheering for somebody else next year.
Yep. Anyways, go out to the phone lines. Bama Bino holding with us on a Tuesday morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You there?
We got you, buddy.
Yeah, it went kind of blank there for a minute.
That's because you pressed. I thought you were pressing one for English.
Oh, Lord.
No, that was it. It was just in my sleep. I just automatically pressed one for English, but not on this show. Not on this show. We're American. Anyway, O'Lane would probably, get the best Orville Redenbacher popcorn, put it in the microwave, and there'd be some kind of metal plate in there, and he'd tear the microwave up. But anyway, even though all the complaints I have, and a lot of us have and agree on the, the structure of all this madness of how they've got it now, that was a doggone good game. It really
was. I thought it was a clean game. I thought it was a well-played game, Bill. I mean, I agree with you.
It it proves there is still someone that realizes there's what's called teaching, and that's, some people call it coaching, but these players were developed.
Yeah, they were.
The offense and defensive lines were the best I've saw.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss was good too,
right?
And Georgia occasionally, but I'm telling you, in my opinion, there is no doubt who the two best teams in the country is.
Mm-hmm.
At least this didn't ruin it the way they structured it. They just wanted to make more money with 12 teams. But once again, you can change a lot of this, but it still goes back to 1980. Who wins the line of scrimmage wins the ball game. And I'm telling you up front, there were some big boys. There was some grown men, big boy football. And, if you take away that I don't think they even had a punt block on that number 6, which, now the lineman and the end type big guys can wear a lower number, like a back number on defense. And they do that a lot of times to kind of throw off the competition as to, what size guy they are, in the heat of the moment. You can wear a number 1 and you can be 400 pounds. But this number 6 was very big, but he was athletic, and he just out-muscled the guy that was supposed to have the edge protection on the 1,001, 1,002, 1,003 count block and then release and go, cover pass. I don't think they even had a pass punt block on. I think he just out-muscled him and went wider than the blocker thought. And so you take that one play away, and what do you have? You have pretty well a tie game, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much,
Well, think about it. You would have had a tied game going in and off Miami's first touchdown in the second half, because if they don't doink that field goal at the end of the first half, it's 10-3 going into the break. They score first coming out of the second half. It's 10-10.
Yeah, the kicking game helped Indiana win. They blocked a punt for a touchdown. They kicked 2 field goals. So, and they were really solid in their coverage units.
Bama Bino.
But anyway, I just want to say kudos.
Yeah.
The coaching. I wish the board learned one thing. Don't worry about all these Cadillac guys until you fix the line of scrimmage, because we're just going to ruin them if you're not going to have a line of scrimmage that dominates. You're just going to ruin them. They're just eye candy.
I agree.
Thanks for the phone call, bud. All right, let's get one more in real fast. Let's get Jake in on a Tuesday. Good morning, Jake.
What's up, Jake?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Doing good.
Well, man.
First of all, I don't think people understand the importance of what this, and we all think Signetti gets on a lot of people's nerves, and we don't like him, this and that and that. But man, he's a great coach, man. He's a weirdo, but a great coach. Indiana was 3-11 in postseason tries ever.
Yeah,
they won 3 playoff games this year.
Yeah,
but 2 things that stuck out last night, and then I'll let y'all speak on it, is that 4th down play. Here goes the Heisman Trophy winning. He already had the first down.
Yeah.
Spinning to get in the end zone. He's supposed to be a first pick, $50 million man that is spinning and diving for 6 more inches.
Yep. And that was a gutsy call by his coach too.
Yeah, it was very gutsy.
Yeah, gutsy call.
Well, he said he looked to the right and they were in man. He looked to the other side and they weren't in man. He said, "Oh, screw it," and he just went for it.
Yep.
But I'm gonna get y'all to talk about that. Okay, first, next thing, back shoulder throws. Can Alabama please learn how to throw that pass, please? Lord have mercy, that thing is almost unstoppable.
Yeah, it was 2 good calls. They used the back shoulder very effectively, no question.
Guess who? Last thing I'll say, fellas, is guess who hit the portal this morning?
Who's that?
Mendoza's little brother.
Yeah, we just talked about that. Yep,
he sure did.
Josh Hoover's coming in from TCU, so that was you could expect that.
What it is. Y'all have a good day, fellas.
Thanks, Jake. Let's get a break in. 7:30 on the other side. We got Blake Lovell who's waiting for us. We got to talk SEC basketball. The Auburn Tigers in action tonight on the road. Auburn trying for their first true road win of the season. We'll break that down and more with Blake Lovell next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not as cold tonight compared to what we've seen over the last couple of nights. Temperatures only dropping into the upper 20s. An increase in cloud cover. A mostly cloudy sky for your Wednesday. Temperatures climbing into the upper 40 to lower 50s. But there is an opportunity for a little bit of rain on Wednesday afternoon. Better opportunities for rain on Thursday. Temperatures climbing into the low 50s.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
What's better than 2 in-zone sports bars? 3 in-zone sports bars. And we have you covered with our original location on University across from Red Lobster, in Jones Valley on Cecil Ashburn near Carl T. Jones, and our newest location in the Midtown District on McMurtry Drive opposite the Target Plaza. All locations feature the NFL Sunday Ticket, Tuesday half-price burgers, and Wednesday $1 jumbo wings all day long. You're never far from the end zone. In-zone sports bar.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. When you need service on your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or any other make, you want to get into Woody Anderson Ford, where their expert service technicians will get it diagnosed and repaired right away, the right way. And while you are there, check out all the new and pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson as well. They are ready to make you the best deal possible. Visit Woody Anderson Ford today.
Woody Anderson Ford on Jordan Lane in Huntsville, Hughes Road in Madison, and online at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
AL cert number 21014.
As we flip the calendar to 2026, the holiday season may have left you a little short in the bank account, but Talon Heating and Air will not leave you out in the cold.
That's right. We're still offering free second opinions and service calls with repairs. In addition to that, we're offering up to $1,600 in TVA rebates.
Very easy to do. If you need that $1,600 rebate, all you got to do is
give us a call at 256-503-4490.
Talon Heating and Air, they're live, they're local, and you can find them online at
TalentHVAC.com.
Who doesn't need to save
$1,600?
Very easy to do. Again, Talent Heating and Air, the number and the web.
That's 256-503-4490 or TalentHVAC.com.
It's Talent Heating and Air. They're live, they're local. Give them a call today.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Plenty of college football national championship conversation to get through, but we also got to slip in some SEC basketball because it's another Tuesday night of SEC hoops. Your lineup is, I'm going to say it's impressive from a standpoint where you do get 20th ranked Arkansas hosting 15th ranked Vanderbilt. That's an 8 o'clock tip-off on ESPN. Arkansas, by the way, a 1.5 home favorite. 21st ranked Georgia is on the road tonight. 16th ranked Florida is at home taking on LSU. South Carolina, Oklahoma, and then on ESPNU, Auburn traveling to take on Ole Miss. Tigers a 2.5 point road favorite, but again, still looking for that first true road win of the season.
Yeah, and Ole Miss, that was a heck of a game where they go to overtime and then they are able to vanquish Mississippi State. That was a heck of a finish and just a really good win. As Ole Miss it really didn't have a great pre-conference slate, and they've started to stabilize themselves under Chris Beard, though, because Beard is one of the country's best coaches, but one of the country's best analysts, and he does a great job for Southeastern 16 is Blake Lovell, and he's joining us for his weekly visit to talk SEC basketball, as this is another big week on the hardwood, and we're going to talk some hoops right now. Blake, good morning. You're with Drew and Scott. How are you?
How you doing well, guys? Good to talk to you as always.
Yeah. We just kind of led off with Ole Miss. They probably had as poor a pre-conference as anybody in the league. And they got off to really a slow start within the conference. I was wondering if they were going to, play their way, into the ceiling being the NIT early on. They fought back a little bit, and this game with Auburn at home in the hump is really in the pavilion is going to be huge tonight because it could be a fork in the road game for Auburn or Ole Miss at this point.
Yeah, and I think when you just kind of look at both teams' upcoming schedule after this, they probably have the two toughest schedules just based on what I've looked at to this point, of anybody probably over the next 5 or 6 games. And so from that perspective, it feels like a huge game for these two. And if you're just playing it by the standings, the bigger game for Auburn is because they're at 2-3, Ole Miss is at 3-2. And, it is one where I think you kind of look at Ole Miss early in, non-conference play. I mean, they're sitting there playing 15 guys a night because it's pretty clear that they just don't know what rotation is going to work, whether, Beard was talking about, we're going to find guys who play hard, all this kind of stuff. And, now you look up and they've got 3 really good wins in a row and have a chance to, again, kind of come into this one tonight, get another one. They figured it out. I think they figured out kind of the sweet spot of who they need to play. And just, they've had guys step up too and kind of have answered the challenge that the coaching staff gave to them, really coming out of, probably that Oklahoma game because they played better against Arkansas. So, yeah, it's an interesting game, and, we'll see how Auburn kind of continues. After what was an interesting week, I thought, for them, I didn't think played terrible at Missouri, but lose by 10, and then, kind of had to grind one out in a different way against South Carolina. So, yeah, fascinating matchup with this one.
Yeah, and if you're Auburn, I mean, you do have some chances on the end, but you can't you mentioned road games. After this, I mean, they've got to travel to Florida to take on the Gators after traveling to go to Ole Miss. If you're going to get a road win, I'm just saying it's not going to be easy tonight. But just looking at it, tonight's game is going to be a whole lot easier to get a road win than traveling to Gainesville next week or on Saturday, I should say.
Even after that, I mean, they're at Tennessee, at Arkansas, I think, are their next 2 road games. And it's you look at the home games, I mean, the home games are against 3 really good teams right now, and that's Texas, Alabama, and Vanderbilt. So, yeah, I think for Auburn, what Auburn's going to have to work with here is that they had such a tough non-conference schedule. And, I said a while back, I don't know if there's an SEC team that gets in at 8-10 this year, just based on the fact that you don't have the slam dunk resumes you had last year. I think if there is a team that's going to have the best case of getting in at 8-10, it's probably going to be Auburn just because of their non-conference. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of how close maybe they are to that number. Because I mean, goodness, guys, I think 3 or 4 years in a row now, there's been at least one SEC team that's gotten in at 8-10. Mississippi State's kind of been the staple of that, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it. They finished, 8-10 3 years in a row. Arkansas got in at that number several years ago, and then last year was kind of an outlier where you just had multiple 6 and 12 teams get in and all that. That's not going to happen this year. So yeah, it's one for Auburn where I think obviously you're playing to win every game, but if I'm looking, into the future here, I'm thinking that magic number has got to be at least 8. And when you look at their schedule the rest of the way, that's not going to be easy to get there.
Well, it's not. And I'll tell you this though, that was some fun stuff watching Vandy in Florida and Nashville. That was a high-level college basketball game. That, to me, that looked like 2 top 3 seeds in the NCAA tournament playing against each other, Blake. I know Vandy had a tough week last week and lost 2 really high-level basketball games, and they didn't play as well as they wanted to. They kind of ran into a buzzsaw in Texas, but I thought they responded. I know they didn't get the result they wanted, but I think Florida right now is the best team in the league, but I think Vanderbilt's in that top 4.
Yeah, I think, I hope we are far removed from the narrative of Vanderbilt being overrated and haven't played anybody. That seemed like it just kind of had sat in there for a while. But, I mean, it's clear at this point for anyone who watches the game that this is a team that is probably – I don't know where they finish in the SEC, but, I mean, they're one of the teams in the SEC I think has a chance to go the furthest in the NCAA tournament just based on the makeup of their roster. And remember, too, I mean, they looked – and I agree with you, Drew, like, I thought, there's nothing coming out of that game on Saturday that changes my mind about Vanderbilt in a negative way at all. In fact, I probably feel better about them coming out of the game against Florida because we have to remember they're still playing without Frankie Collins, who, is such a crucial part of this team because, unfortunately, when Duke Miles gets in foul trouble, which seems to happen a little bit, they just don't have kind of that second guy beside Tyler Tanner. But if Frankie Collins is in there, look, they probably win the Florida game. We can play the what-if game in a lot of scenarios, and you can say the same with Alabama at Vanderbilt, and we can go all the way down the line. But I just think that the makeup of the roster is very kind of clear that this is a team that has high upside. And I said going into the Texas game, I said, hey, they're 16-0 right now. Don't be surprised if they lose 3 in a row because of the way the schedule sets up. They went and played Texas, who had beaten Alabama. Then they had to play the hottest team, not just in the SEC, probably one of the hottest teams in the country in Florida. And now they got to go play an Arkansas team coming off a loss. So it's just the way the schedule is. Basketball is schedules and matchups. And I think for Vanderbilt, they ran into a bad matchup against Florida. Now they're going to run into a bad scheduling kind of scenario where they got to go to Arkansas. But even if they lose this game tonight, I think that may actually be okay for them because people will start to sort of let their guard down with them. But I still think they're easily one of the best teams in the SEC.
But there's a lot of questions, I think, surrounding this Arkansas team, right? I mean, you look at their last 3. I mean, they're 1-2 in their last 3 with a bad loss at Auburn, and then I guess you could say a bad loss at Georgia with a win against South Carolina in the middle.
Yeah, Arkansas's biggest problem, and I keep bringing this up, is the numbers don't lie with them. And when you look at kind of their games against high-level competition, at Georgia, they give up 90. At Auburn, they give up 95. At Ole Miss, they give up 87. Against Houston, they gave up 94. Texas Tech, 86. Louisville, 80. Duke, 80. And look, they won some of those games. Yeah. But at a certain point, you can't just get by giving up that many points. And you're going to have games where you're not scoring as well. And the 2 Auburn-Georgia games are the perfect example of that. I didn't think, offensively they played terrible. But you can't give up 90 or more points and expect to win on the road. And so I think that's what Arkansas has to decide. Yes, they're an up-tempo team. Yes, they're going to give up some points. But, I mean, they're not Alabama. And I think it's just kind of one where I don't think they have kind of, perfected that style yet to a point to where they can just get by not playing great defense. And I just think right now they're searching for that. And so luckily at home, they've been much better. And so that will probably play into kind of the next, I think 3 of their next 4 at home. So from that perspective, Arkansas is probably going to bounce back and be fine. But when you're looking at them too into March, I mean, they've got to figure out some things on the defensive side because I think you're just putting way too much pressure on Darius Acuff and others to get you to that at least 85 or 90 point mark every single game. And I just don't think that's realistic.
Well, and you got to give Bucky McMillan a lot of credit too. This roster wasn't considered one of the better ones in the SEC, and then he loses Mbako early, and they've really done a nice job. I think he's getting the most out of what he's got. They're not the biggest basketball team, but their pressure's really bothering people. I thought it was a really big win over Texas. They really could have and should have won, the game at Tennessee. So what do we? I got to say, Vandy and A&M are the 2 surprise teams in the league.
Yeah, I think so. And I think with A&M, I mean, it's like, I hope people realize this, they're 14-4 right now, and their only 2 losses since November the 14th have come in overtime. And, I mean, we're really looking at a team that probably should have won at Tennessee. If you play the SMU game out 100 times, I don't think you're getting beat by 13 in overtime. That just kind of is one of those things that just simply, ran into kind of an issue in overtime and just couldn't find a way to score. And so, the way they play, I mean, they are just, again, one of those teams that I think right now, They beat LSU by 3. They won at Auburn by 2, controversial fashion. They beat Oklahoma by 7. They lose by 5 in double overtime at Tennessee, and then they beat Texas on the road by 4. That's a lot of close games. Right now, they're bouncing in their favor. And I think what we have to look at here with them is, people are like, hey, well, they're going to start kind of sliding back down. I mean, tell me where, because this week they play Mississippi State and South Carolina at home. They're going to be the favorite in both of those games. Good chance they move to 6-1. And then it's like even a road trip to Georgia next Saturday. That's absolutely winnable for this Texas A&M team based on just the style again and how they're going to match up with Georgia. They're going to face some tough games in there, like they got to go to Alabama, Florida, and so forth. But I'm looking at their schedule the rest of the way. I think I'd be more surprised than not if Texas A&M is not in the SEC title race come the end of February, just because of the way their schedule sets up. And so we'll see. I mean, again, it's like in this league, if you're a double-digit favorite, that means nothing these days because we've already seen how some of these games have gone. But I think the playing style, they really way ahead of schedule. I thought it was going to be a next year type deal with A&M. But yeah, they're on their way. And boy, you talk about tournament matchups and brackets and all that. Ugh. There is no way I'd want to be anywhere near them if I was, a top tier seed looking at Texas A&M.
Was Saturday's win for Kentucky one of those wins that gets this team going in the right direction? Because there just seems to be a lot of questions still about Kentucky, but you go into Tennessee and you win one and come from behind fashion like they did.
Yeah, Kentucky fans are like, finally, some luck is bouncing in our favor. And yeah, I mean, the past 2 games here, to win the way they did against LSU, where they probably had a less than 2% chance to win that game, and then they hit the buzzer beater, and then they go make the plays at the end of the game to beat Tennessee after it looked like they were just completely done. That's a different look than the team that sort of were questioning effort early in the season. And so I think that is a big step in the right direction for Mark Pope and company. I still think this team does not have a lot of margin for error, and it's probably going to cost them. And, some games that are close that they don't find a way to pull out the way that they have these last 2. But it's hard to argue with the fact that, hey, they just keep finding ways to win here recently. And, they're down, I think it was, I don't remember what the number was against Mississippi State, but they're down double digits against LSU, double digits against Tennessee. And again, the difference is that they showed a fight that we didn't necessarily see early in the season when they found themselves in those kind of situations. So that is progress. Their long-term potential without Jaden Quaintance, I think is, there's still a ceiling there just because, I don't know exactly what that looks like in the front court game in and game out. And we don't know exactly when he's going to be back and all this other stuff. So, Jalen Lowe's out for the year, but still, I think it's a team that right now, is not going to be one that's anywhere close to what we thought they were in the preseason. But I mean, I mentioned with Texas A&M, hey, if Kentucky winds up as a 7, 8, 9 type seed, that's another team that I probably don't want to see necessarily, just because I know that they have the potential. It's just a matter of can they do it consistently. And look, another team this week that has 2 home games, Texas and Ole Miss. So if Kentucky were to come out of those, win both, then yeah, I mean, they're feeling really good about themselves.
And finally, how big a week was it for Alabama? They dropped the game to Texas. Quite frankly, I felt like they should have won, even though they didn't play their best basketball. But then they respond with 2 straight road wins.
Yeah, I mean, with Alabama, the whole line I pushed all season, and I said this, it may change it just because of how well Florida's played. But I mean, I kept saying, I think at full strength, Alabama's the best team in the SEC. It's hard to top Florida right now, just based on the way their guards are playing. I don't know if I would keep that same thought with Alabama, but they're close. And the problem is, though, as you guys know, I don't know if they're ever going to be at full strength. I don't know if they're ever going to have their full roster. And that's just really the unknown with them. But, I do keep pushing back still. There is we've had some pushback like, hey, Alabama, defensively leave a lot to be desired. And I'm like, yep, so did the team that made the Final Four a couple of years ago. And it's just, it's one where, again, you're never going to feel comfortable when you play Alabama and being able to put them away. I was laughing the other day. It was I think it was the Vanderbilt game where all of a sudden there's 45 seconds left or whatever it was, and people are leaving. I'm like, have you ever seen Alabama play basketball? Are you really leaving with Alabama down 6 or 8 with 40-something seconds to go? Now, I know they lost the game, but that's kind of the point, is that even with all the injuries, even with all this other stuff, I still think this is a team that matchup-wise is an absolute nightmare for so many teams in the SEC. And, they've got a big opportunity coming up on Saturday against Tennessee. But I think Alabama's going to be right there in the mix. And look, if it winds up being Florida, Alabama 1-2 in the SEC, no one should be surprised because I think they are the two teams that have the highest upside.
Well, Blake Lovell,
Blake.
He's the best with SEC basketball. Analyst for Southeastern 16. Let everybody know how to follow you and you guys work, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, Southeastern 16 on YouTube. Check us out there. And, lots of SEC basketball stuff coming this week for sure.
Thanks, Blake.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Let's get a break and wrap up hour one when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he can take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
Alabama's workers are the backbone of our state. You put in the hours, nights, weekends. Right now, your overtime pay is tax-free. But unless lawmakers make it permanent, it'll cost Alabamians $300 million in taxes July 1st. That's money ripped from the pockets of those who work the hardest. Tell Montgomery, make the overtime tax exemption permanent. Call your legislator today. Protect your paycheck.
Paid for by AFL-CIO PAC Montgomery.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama, located online at universitykia.com.
Welcome back, Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, 7:54 here on a Tuesday, hour one. Just
damn, I thought this was the Tom Abraham show. That sounds like 70s music.
We like to keep it fresh and so clean.
Oh,
None of that boom boom music.
Yeah, well, that's right. Because we had Nuck. He already called in.
He already did call in. We don't have anybody holding, do we? Nope. Everyone decided to leave us.
The master of the Three Stooges impersonation. It was hysterical.
All right, so the College Football National Championship is in said books. Indiana does get the win. We did hear from Kurt Cignetti there for a little bit. How about Mario Cristobal? Here's the Miami coach after the loss.
I would like to recognize these three young men and their teammates for they're the best thing that's happened to Miami and the University of Miami in over 2 decades. And it's not the result we wanted. Credit to Indiana. They're a great football team. But to these guys right here, I couldn't be more proud to be associated with them. I love them. They're absolutely incredible human beings, competitors, resilient. And I want to thank them and the rest of their teammates. And it's a tough one I have to eat, but we will. And that's it.
Well, I mean, look, I've been critical of Mario Cristobal and his in-game coaching, but his team did show a lot of grit last night. I really thought they were about to get slapped. And, you know, I thought that Indiana was going to cover. And, you know, if Indiana had gone up 17-0, I think it would have been over. But Miami, you know, came out of the locker room. They, you know, and you got to give Fletcher a lot of credit. He's a hell of a back.
Yeah.
I mean, they were talking about, you know, he's 6'2", 220 pounds, stuff like that. You know, we hadn't seen a running back with that kind of physicality probably since the great Derrick Henry, who, what did he do, Scott? He won the Heisman and
the national championship.
Yeah, well, and so and Fletcher's a hell of a player. And to be honest, I had watched Miami a little bit, but I didn't realize how good he was until this playoff run. And he's coming back, and he'll probably be on the very short list of Heisman favorites. Now, the Canes are going to have to go get him a quarterback. Maybe that's, Mensa. We'll find out.
That's
that contract situation with Duke is going to be really dicey, and see what they do. And if not, then Mario is going to have to, try to pull off another move. But I will say this. I do think that it's a little bit dangerous to have to always depend on a portal quarterback. To be honest with you, I still think you got to develop guys. But Indiana's doing the same thing with Josh Hoover. So maybe it continues to work.
Go back to last year. Ohio State did not win the national championship with the quarterback they developed.
Yeah, Will Howard.
They brought in Will Howard from Kansas State to win the national.
Guy out to Syracuse.
Yeah.
Cal McCord.
Yeah, so they could bring in Will Howard, who they won a national title with.
I will ask you one question. What's the last Ohio State quarterback who was worth 10 craps?
You did that during the break, and we can't. I mean, you got to go all the way back to Mike Tomczak.
He wasn't even any good.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Auburn Tigers bet up to a 2.5-point road favorite at Ole Miss at the Black Pavilion today. The Ole Miss Rebels have won 3 straight. The total is 150.5. Indiana wins its first national championship in football. They beat Miami 27-21 at Hard Rock Stadium last night. Ohio State and Indiana open as the favorites at 7-1 to win the 2026-2027 national title. Notre Dame and Texas at plus 750. Alabama opens at 18-1. The Auburn Tigers are 65-1 to win next year's national title in college football. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
AL cert number 21014.
As we flip the calendar to 2026, the holiday season may have left you a little short in the bank account, but Talon Heating and Air will not leave you out in the cold.
That's right. We're still offering free second opinions and service calls with repairs. In addition to that, we're offering up to $1,600 in TVA rebates.
Very easy to do. If you need that $1,600 rebate, all you got to do is
give us a call at 256-503-4490.
Talon Heating and Air, they're live, they're local, and you can find them online at
TalentHVAC.com.
Who doesn't need to save
$1,600?
Very easy to do. Again, Talent Heating and Air, the number and the web.
That's 256-503-4490 or TalentHVAC.com.
It's Talent Heating and Air. They're live, they're local. Give them a call today.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Hour 2, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, welcome back into the show. 256-576-4977. That's the number to join us. Jake Crain is at the bottom of the hour. We'll get his thoughts on the College Football National Championship. And obviously, Curt Cignetti getting a lot of attention for winning the national championship, getting a lot of attention for being very Nick Saban-esque, so to speak. Well, speaking of Nick Saban, yesterday leading up to the national championship game, this was announced. Here is the little tease for what was announced.
He was seen as brilliant, difficult.
You think you played Alabama football today?
Ambitious.
Has anybody ever given you anything in your life?
He cares about the person. Nick Saban is the face of college football.
Scariest man in college football. Greatest coach in any sport. There'll never be another Nick Saban.
Is this where you want me?
ESPN announcing a 6-part series documentary entitled Saban. The release date, don't know yet, but it's going to be a documentary on the legendary coach Nick Saban coming to ESPN.
I'll definitely be tuning in for that because they're right. There is not another one. Cignetti, everything he's doing is a carbon copy of what Coach did.
Right.
Total credit shows it still works. Again, it's a total credit to him. And it was basically just when you look at that 4-team playoff, the Final Four, they're all his guys. And just shows you how many coaches he's been able to create, develop. Now, not all of them have been wildly successful. Those are probably the 4 best ones. But even Dan Lanning hasn't won a playoff game. Do I think Dan Lanning is eventually going to win a playoff game? Yes, I do.
You think so?
Yeah, he will eventually do it. You got to keep plugging. Look, Cignetti is an outlier. I heard this morning somebody said, well, can't wait for the first coach to get fired.
Yeah, that's what there was a tweet that someone put out there that I can't wait for
win the national championship in their second year. You got to understand there's outliers to everything and perfect storms. And this was one for Indiana, and everything lined up and the Hoosiers kicked the door down. But that doesn't mean Dan Lanning is not going to eventually have a chance to win one at Oregon. I think he's done a great job. I'm going to be really interested to see how he does now that he's been so wildly successful. He's starting to be poached like Coach Saban from the standpoint of, Willie Stein going his OC to Kentucky and his DC Tosh Lapoy going to Cal.
Oh, yeah.
He's starting to lose coaches, but he's been, wildly successful. So,
well, you wonder if Curt Cignetti that'll happen too, because a lot of his guys have been with him since James Madison.
Look, man, football is the ultimate copycat sport.
Right.
And it happens all the time. And how ironic it is just watching that last interception that the 2 biggest plays in the game were by Miami natives.
Right.
And
QB,
DB, both those cats are Miami natives, and they help Indiana win the national championship.
How about this? Jamari Sharp.
Yeah, I saw that.
The game-winning interception. Yep. The nephew of Glenn Sharp who was the controversial pass interference penalty guy that lost Miami its last national championship game.
To Tattoo University.
Tattoo University. That's right. It's at Ohio
State. So,
hey,
that's ironic right there. I saw that this morning.
The documentary, Saban, it's going to peel back the curtain on the long, closely guarded world of Nick Saban. It's going to show you hundreds of hours of never seen before footage from the locker room to the practice fields, from behind the scene moments in his career at Alabama to the LSU, Miami Dolphins, Michigan State. They also say there's a wealth of present day interviews with Saban, his wife, Miss Terry, and others that played a massive role in him becoming a coach and a leader. So
if it's anything like Nothing But a Winner, it's going to be hit out of the park, man, because Nothing But a Winner was great.
Yeah, don't know the release date yet.
There's been rumors about this for several months, and then there was some fake stuff put out. I know you're shocked about that. There was fake stuff on Facebook, you know.
Does that happen?
I guess so, behind Zuckerberg's, glass house and his gated community.
Next thing you do, you're going to tell me that people hijack Twitter accounts and take them over and lock people out of their Twitter accounts.
Yeah, you buy houses and cars and vacations and, you're a high roller.
Well, just so you know, the post of you buying houses and stuff.
Somebody told me that was gone.
They're gone.
Yeah. So I wonder why X can't figure out, that disappeared. I guess he didn't really buy a house. And, he hasn't really posted anything in 2 months.
December 31st is your last post or your last retweet.
And what did I do that?
You retweeted Charlie Potter.
I didn't even do that. That wasn't even me.
December 31st, 2025.
No, I didn't do that. I can tell you I didn't do that because I didn't have access to my account. I lost it the day of the Iron Bowl, bro.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
November 29th, you did something from Aaron Suttles.
That proves that AC's and his cousins are in charge of this.
You said the Iron Bowl, so yeah. No, you have a bunch of stuff from November 28th, November 29th.
Nah, that's a shock, right?
November 29th, December 31st.
I'm gonna have to just get on the horn again and ask them, can I please have my account back and take it from the Iranians?
Let's go out to the phone lines. Let's slip in Pat real fast. Good morning, Pat.
What's up, Pat?
Guys, I found out that AC lives in a Mexican trailer park on Wire Road in Auburn, Alabama.
Oh, Lord.
That is. Hey, guys, deal or no deal. Signetti repeats in 6 years. No deal.
And as far as what?
Repeats a national title.
Oh, you mean he wins another one at Indiana?
At Indiana.
Oh.
At Indiana.
I mean, I'm not going to bet against him.
Pat, I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think nobody saw this first one coming.
So
I don't know how. That would be hard to say because you didn't even see this one.
Now, he had a ton of guys that he developed that came with him that were a special group or winning a ton of games at James Madison. Can he replicate that by continuing with his high school recruiting now looking like it's definitely on the upswing? I know their recruiting class took a huge jump during this season and this run. Can he start have the best of both worlds, getting some elite high school talent, and then also continuing to master the portal? I mean, he brought a lot of his guys from James Madison now, but winning national championship, it's an attraction to a lot of people. So I'm not going to bet against him. I think he'll still get really good players out of the portal. You saw Mark Cuban in the crowd last night. Mark Cuban said he was going to take care of the NIL. Signetti did say our NIL is not near what you think it is, and it's not, but it's more than good enough. So with his level of coaching, but it goes back to something Scott said about eventually some of his coaches getting poached. It just depends on how good he is at building a staff, because I've never seen anyone as good as Nick Saban at doing that. Is Signetti that good? We're certainly going to find out, but I'm not going to bet against him after what I just saw.
Yeah. Hey, the quarterback's little brother's done jump ship. He's going to find out that portal is he live and die with that portal, and he's going to see that this ain't even easy at all, and like Coach Saban said, you pay the wrong players and you're doomed. But but Miami, Mark Fletcher's coming back to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Miami's going to be a dangerous team next year if they can find a decent QB. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to depend on what happens with Mensa. If they can get Mensa, I mean, he's really good. I mean, he helped Duke win the ACC. Don't forget that. I mean, the Duke Blue Devils were the conference champions, and you can ask John Summerall how good Mensa was because they certainly figured that out. It was 1 year at Tulane. I feel bad for Duke because I think he agreed to a contract. He should be held to said contract. Yeah. And Miami should have to scramble and go find someone else and actually maybe try to develop a player. But again, this is the portal, era we live in right now. I don't think it's going to continue, for the next decade. I think they're going to eventually there's going to be some guardrails put up. But this is where I appreciate what DeBoer is doing. He's developing his own QBs. And he's already had 2 drafted. And I know what people will say. Well, he inherited both those guys, but you might as well say you could say he got them out of the portal since he came to Alabama. I mean, he's done as good a job with a quarterback as Cignetti or any of these other coaches. Now, what he hasn't done and what he's trying to remedy now is you got to be able to play on the line of scrimmage. You're not going to beat these teams just throwing the ball around and being able to be a 7-on-7 team. You've got to have grit, determination, and you've got to be physical. And I think that's the biggest thing Alabama's got to fix right now.
Yep. All right, guys. Y'all have a blessed afternoon.
Thanks. And then you bring up Darian Mensa going to Miami. Now, Duke is a private school. A lot of their NIL stuff, a lot of their salary stuff doesn't get released.
He was making like $3 million.
They estimated a 2-year deal around $7.5 million. 2 years for $7.5 million.
When he signed last year?
When he signed last year for Duke. Now, remember, Miami was actively going after a quarterback because they went after Ty Simpson.
Oh, they were Sam Levitt.
Yeah, $6.5 million or whatever. The deal for him to Miami is rumored to be around $10 million.
How many life wallets is that? I mean, $10 million for a year, and these people can't build a stadium. I mean, good Lord. And they went through purgatory for 25 years and wouldn't even commit to the sport. Now, all of a sudden, they're paying one guy $10 million, and they'll probably still gag and not win it.
So while you look at this situation, Darian Mensa commits to Duke for 2 years, says, I will be back. Miami needs a quarterback. They get him for $10 million. How in this situation, because it does look like it gives college football a black eye, because you have a guy that is, commits to one team. We saw it at Washington, but he commits to one. He goes to the other.
Back to Washington.
But do you fault the kid or do you fault college football? Because Darian Mensa made a business decision.
I fault college football and these commissioners. Where is Jim Phillips? Get your head out your ass and say something.
Right. Do you fault Darian Mensa at all in this situation? Do you fault the kid for going against his word?
You can't really do that. I mean, if they're not holding these contracts, if they're not saying, that they're not worth the paper they're built on, or if they are allowing, as we talked about yesterday, buyouts. If they are, then that's just part of the rules.
Malachi Toney's supposed to be back next year as well. Elijah Lofton's supposed to be back next year as well.
They're certainly playing. They're paying all these guys. I wonder where they're getting all this money because, I mean, the Canes, good Lord, I guess they couldn't spend this on quote unquote under the table recruiting to try. So they were terrible for so long. I mean, where was Uncle Luke at? I mean, these guys should have been a championship contender every year with all the talent around them.
Right,
but, it is what it is.
I know a lot of people were watching the game last night. By the way, Malachi Toney, not related to Kadarius Toney.
No.
Not related at all. So I know there were some people watching that game last night thinking, okay, wait a minute, his name sounds familiar. But yes, Malachi's father, though, is former NFL player Antonio Brown, different from the Steelers star.
Thank the Lord.
Yes. Anyway, let's
because if it had been Antonio Brown, that's all we would have seen last night.
Yes. Oh my goodness, the Miami sidelines though before the game.
Ray Lewis had a sharp looking hat. It was great.
Ray Lewis was there. I mean, you had Ray Lewis. It was just insane. All the stars,
there's an
rap stars, movie stars. I mean, just everybody down on that Miami sideline last night. Just incredible. It's just so if you take off the half of the U, you get the L, right?
L.
You see?
Great run. You ain't got no championship. Nobody remembers to finish a second.
All right. Let's get a break in. 8:15, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, now with Lynn Layton Ford in Decatur, where we're jump-starting January with low rates, low payments, and low prices on a great selection of new Fords. Right now, you can get 2.9% financing for 60 months, plus $2,000 customer cash on 25 F-150s, or choose $4,000 in total rebates instead. We've got new 25 Explorers with 2.9% APR for 60 months, plus $1,500 in total cash. Get 4.9% financing for 60 months on your choice of any new 25 Ford Bronco. Or choose a $2,000 customer cash bonus to get a new 25 Bronco Sport starting at under $29,000. And there's never any hidden markups or dock fees. We hope to see you soon at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline in Decatur, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com. All offers on select new Ford models with your good credit. Bronco Sport stock number example 27715T. See us for all the details.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. When you need service on your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or any other make, you want to get into Woody Anderson Ford, where their expert service technicians will get it diagnosed and repaired right away, the right way. And while you are there, check out all the new and pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson as well. They are ready to make you the best deal possible. Visit Woody Anderson Ford today.
Woody Anderson Ford on Jordan Lane in Huntsville, Hughes Road in Madison, and online at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill, legendary fun, legendary food.
At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ain't nobody know me. I'm just so fresh and so clean.
So,
boom boom music.
That's boom boom music.
Nah, I'm kidding.
You hear that in the boom boom room.
That's all
right. Dennis Dodd. You said, well, no, I bring this up.
I can't wait.
Because during the break, ESPN put something up on the screen.
Right.
And basically it's questioning the SEC. That the SEC is done. The SEC is over.
in such decline.
It's in decline. The SEC is in decline.
Never gonna be back ever again.
Well, Dennis Dodd says, to reiterate, the Big Ten has won 3 consecutive outright titles for the first time since 1942. The SEC hasn't so much as played for it all in 3 straight years for the first time since 2002.
Oh, since 2002. That's not 60 years ago, Dennis. It was actually when they had DVD players and iPods and all this other stuff. It was actually in modern times when they had bars on helmets, and it was actually modern football. So enjoy your time in the sun, you snake, because it's going to go away, and then you're going to have to keep whining. Of course, I think he's semi-retired. Does anybody care? No. Is he ever going to be on the show? No. Would he ever be on the show? No.
So in other words, he's never coming over for dinner.
Hell no.
So the reason why a lot of people are piling dirt on the SEC this morning, because one, the Big Ten has won 3 straight titles. The SEC hasn't been in those games.
No, they haven't.
The SEC was 2-8 this bowl season versus non-SEC teams. They were 4-10 with a 28% win percentage in bowl games. The Big Ten won 68% of their bowl games, 11-5 in bowl games. The ACC was 9-5, 64% of their bowl games. The Big 12 was 4-4 at 500 or 50%.
Does everybody understand that most of that was because of college football playoff success? It not really wasn't the rest of it.
2-8 versus non-SEC team. That's why people are piling dirt on the SEC this morning.
They didn't have a good postseason. It happens. You know what else happened? And they'll never forget it.
What?
The Big Ten hasn't won a basketball national championship since the year 2000. And the great Tom Izzo won it. And you know what the SEC did last year, Scott? What they always think is a non-basketball league had the greatest season ever. Do you see them harping on it though? Matter of fact, a lot of those idiots were like Stuart Mandel.
Right.
He was after the first 2 weekends, he was throwing dirt on the SEC, saying they were supposed to be a dominant conference. I don't see where it is. They've already lost 4 or 5 games, whatever the hell it was. And what happened? The SEC was the most dominant league ever in a season. Not the Big East that they used to talk about so reverently, and they made a 30 for 30 out of. They trumped the Big East last year, guys. But you know what? They're not going to talk about it because it's not the Big Ten. It's not a bunch of, liberal, just big-mouthed people that are going to me.
Right.
Look, I agree. The Big Ten is in a great spot. I'm not sitting there denying it.
No.
But I'm just saying that they're a lot of those numbers they're throwing up there, they're they're a little bit skewed. Because you have 2 or 3 teams that made the playoff that had a lot of success. The SEC could easily flip that script. And I'll be honest with you, the Big Ten's run right now is a great one. I'm not unlike these fools that are Big Ten honks. I'm not going to sit here and BS anybody, but I'm also going to say this too. Look, the SEC went on an unprecedented run during Nick Saban's tenure and during when you still had Florida. With Urban Meyer before he went to the Big Ten.
Well, you go back to 2006.
Yeah, and because Herb's run ended in 2010.
Yes.
But he won it in 06 and 08.
Yes.
You had LSU win 3 titles.
They won. Florida
Auburn
started. It goes Florida,
title.
LSU, Florida, Alabama, Auburn, Alabama.
Title.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of teams that were really, really good. And Ole Miss, you just saw them have the greatest year ever. And that's not really being talked about just because, Ole Miss didn't make the finals. Well, they almost did. I mean, they came very close to knocking off Miami. So I just think overall, the SEC is going to be fine. They're going to be back. A&M made the playoffs. Texas, I think, will eventually get back in. They had made it the previous 2 years. Oklahoma made it this year. I just think the SEC, with their depth and their commitment, they are going. And again, that they're not talking about this, but the Big Ten, they've got 3 or 4 good teams. The rest of it is trash.
Right. Well, before Indiana had a rise this year, really it was only 2, right? You could say Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah, and it just and they don't have to go through the gauntlet that the SEC does in the regular season. They just don't.
Right.
And so they're able to be fresher. They're able to step up in the postseason. Certainly Indiana did and earned everything they got. And they beat, they won against 3 high-level opponents, no question about it. But all this, the Big Ten is going to dominate till the end of time. The SEC's done. That's just stupidity. But again, like I said, no one, including myself, I wouldn't have thought that the SEC could do what they did in college basketball last year. But I'll say this too, because I'm not an all is well propagandist.
Right.
Because this year, the SEC basketball is good, but it's not last year.
No.
I mean, last year was a perfect storm, kind of like it was for Indiana football.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to duplicate that success every year.
Came up roses. And Indiana right now is the standard. They're one of the best teams ever, and they won the national championship. Total kudos to them. And if you don't say that, you're being disingenuous.
So the SEC, it is kind of funny to look at this because since the BCS era started, Tennessee got it all started. Ohio State, 2002. That was really it for the Big Ten as far as the BCS era goes. They only had 1 national championship during the BCS era, and that was Ohio State in 2002. Then you get to the college football playoffs, and Ohio State won it in 2014. That was it up until this recent run of Michigan, Ohio State, and Indiana. So yes, the Big Ten has come along, but the SEC has dominated this scene for so long that the Big Ten, yet they've got a lot of catching up to do if you're going to say you are on par or equal to the SEC. Steeler Mike with us this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
What's going on, gentlemen? How are we doing this morning?
Doing good.
We're doing good, brother.
Number 10 and number 4 for the Hurricanes, man. I tell you what, they would look good in Steeler black and gold. I promise you that.
Yeah, they're really good players. There's no doubt about it. I agree with you there.
Hey, Drew, any word on Grissom Huntsville Friday night with the weather possibly coming in? Or are they going to wait till later on in the week?
I mean, I would be surprised if it's postponed at this point. And then the more interesting thing will be they already had to move back the Prattville game from January the 2nd, and it's supposed to be played on Saturday afternoon at 4:00, late in the afternoon. So we'll see. I'll be the first to tell you. Scott was letting me know about this this morning. I haven't seen when the weather is supposed to come in. Somebody said Sunday. But
do we need to get a meteorologist? Do we need to get Brad Travis on this?
Maybe we do. I think we had him on for one of those ice.
We did have Brad on last year.
So
we may need to reach out to Brad Travis.
I guess I'm going to have to start looking at it and seeing. But right now, I would say that it's a very important game too, because it's from a standpoint, if it's a 7A area 7 game, and there's another very important one tonight. I mean, the Albertville Aggies are ranked in the top 4 in the state in 7A, probably top 3 now. Huntsville may be number 1. I don't know if they've come out with the new poll yet. Because Hoover took one on the road, took a loss this past week at Hewitt-Trussville. But it was a great game over at Albertville. Huntsville won the game in 62 to 58 as they were able to ice it late, and it was an overtime game, and they just won the Marshall County tournament. So Chris Graves has done a great job. It should be a great atmosphere, and needless to say, it'll be a great atmosphere for Huntsville Grissom. But yeah, I mean, I don't know yet. That'll be very interesting because those games have to be played, and right now the calendar's really tight as far as trying to get these games in.
Gotcha. Well, we'll see you there Friday night if they play, and go Panthers.
Yes, sir.
Steeler Mike with us there. Let's get a break in, shall we? Because Jake Crain's got some thoughts on the College Football National Championship. He'll share them with us on the other side of the break.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Travel accommodations for 97.7 ESPN The Zone provided by University Kia. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon, but it is going to be chilly. Temperatures only climbing into the low and mid 40s, dropping into the upper 20s as we head into the overnight. A mostly cloudy sky for your Wednesday. Temperatures climbing into the upper 40s, lower 50s, but there is a chance of rain. Better opportunity for rain as we head into your Thursday.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The College Football Playoff National Championship. Let's go! The magical run by the 10th-ranked Miami Hurricanes continues.
There's no bad play, no bad call, no injury that we can't overcome.
When they faced a top-ranked and undefeated Indiana Hoosiers.
All I can say is go on you!
Number 10 Miami versus number 1 Indiana. Coverage begins Monday at 6:30 Eastern with kickoff at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. The End Zone Sports Bar has done it again. This time, they're bringing their jumbo wings, handcrafted burgers, Tex-Mex, and New York-style pizza to the Midtown District with their new location on McMurtry Drive Northwest opposite the Target Plaza. Tuesdays at the End Zone means half-price burgers, and Wednesday is $1 jumbo wings all day long. The End Zone also features Sunday ticket for all your NFL viewing. The newest End Zone Sports Bar in the Midtown District on McMurtry near the Target Plaza. Get in the End Zone.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
1 in 3 adults in America have pre-diabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Years 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
Attention, attention, may I have the camp's attention?
Your home of the college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Playoffs? Playoffs?
It's going to be hard to forget about this Indiana football team.
I will say this about Gene. And they're talking about Chizik. Look, Chizik, I think his run was almost as improbable as Signetti's, but Auburn had so much more tradition than Indiana. But I can't see Signetti burning, fizzling out like Gene Chizik did. But again, it just shows the greatness of Cam Newton. Cam Newton.
Look, Fernando Mendoza.
Never been a guy in a year that did what Cam Newton did.
I was going to say, Fernando Mendoza had his start at Cal. But for Fernando Mendoza's rise this year, a lot of people didn't know about Fernando Mendoza. Cam Newton, a lot of people thought Cam Newton was good and had the potential to be good. He starts at Florida, gets into legal trouble, ends up at junior college, ends up at Auburn, and we all know the off-the-field controversy surrounding Cam Newton and all that other stuff. But his rise in 1 year, Cam Newton's rise in 1 year, bigger than Fernando Mendoza?
Oh, hell yeah. there's never going to be another guy like Cam Newton. I've never seen it before or since.
All right.
The guy that had the kind of impact he did, put up the numbers he did the freakish things he did, and still had, and unlike the Ohio State quarterbacks, actually had a good professional career.
Got to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he certainly did. It was MVP of the league.
All right. Well, our next guest can fill us in on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they were having the debate last night on Crain and Cone via On3. Is this the best team ever? They had their reaction show right after the game, as you would expect. And Jake Crain, who joins us throughout college football season, he's always so kind with his time, is now going to join us once again on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline and talk about this. Really, I thought it was a really clean, good football game. It was a fun football game to watch, and we're going to talk Indiana and transfer portal and the future of the college football playoff with the one and only Jake Crain. Jake, good morning.
Hey, good morning, fellas. Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah. We just talked about that, though. I still say for impact, I've never seen a player before or since that had the impact Cam Newton did in 1 year.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I feel like he and you. It's tough to say this about Tebow because Tebow had so much talent around him at Florida.
Right.
You know, not that Auburn wasn't a good team with Cam, but I mean, let's be honest. Look on that offense. How many guys played in the NFL? Like, how many guys, moved on and really solidified themselves as elite players? It's the closest thing I've ever seen to one guy winning football games for a team, because it's the ultimate team sport. One guy really can't, but I've never seen it be that close or somebody have that type of an impact in that way. I mean, you can do it in basketball, you can do it in baseball, you can do it in some other sports. Doing it in football is incredibly tough. I mean, Reggie Bush had a lot of talent around him too at USC. Cam was just different, man.
He was, and I still don't think Auburn makes the deep run they made in 2013 without Cam Newton's impact. I think it was still kind of reverberating, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, the shadow power that Cam Newton had.
Well, then help us understand the dynamic then of Fernando Mendoza's impact on Indiana. And a lot of people are going to refer to that fourth down call last night where he dives into the end zone on a designed quarterback run.
Yeah, well, look, I think, again, in normal times, you look at impact and Mendoza from a standpoint of reading the RPO correctly, from a standpoint of putting the ball where it needed to be, the running ability. He's the total package. I actually think he's one of the safest bets to work out in the NFL that we've had in a while at the quarterback position. But, the quarterback is the most important position on the field. Obviously, you touch the ball every play. Without Fernando Mendoza, they do not win a national championship. But I do think when you look at this Indiana team, and I really emphasize the word team, I think this was a lot of collective pieces that came together. And I think when you look at the culture of this team and how this happened, the complementary football that they play, the level of efficiency that they play with, Mendoza was just the cherry on top of a team that was just really, really good together and good enough to win it. And that's what you saw, and that's what came to fruition.
And I know you guys discussed this on Crain and Cone last night. Is this the best team ever? I know it's definitely on the short list in the Big Ten, but how did historically in your mind, being 16-0, how does this team match up?
I don't think they're the best team ever. I don't think we'll ever see the best team ever with the new NIL landscape, because you can't hoard talent the way that you used to be able to when you were Nick Saban in Alabama or some of these other places. I don't think they're the best team ever, but like I said last night on our show, I think this is the best coaching job I've ever seen.
That's a good point.
You look at Signetti, he did more with less than Saban ever did, and that's not a knock on Saban, regardless of what he says on TV. I mean, he had 5 stars as third string. Signetti didn't have that, and yet they're still able to find a way to go 16-0 and win the national title. I do think it's the greatest coaching job I've ever seen.
Is what Curt Signetti is doing at Indiana and how he's doing it. And we've had a lot of people kind of ask this question this morning, and it's kind of something we've talked about. How sustainable is this run then for Indiana?
Well, I don't expect them to go undefeated again next year. And the biggest question to me is, you built this up and created this identity and culture and style of play with guys who got it out of the mud. I mean, a lot of their best players are from JMU with Signetti
that's a good
that
point.
he brought over. What I want to see is now when you start getting those 4 and 5 stars, because the higher profile of the player you get, the higher profile personality you're going to get. Can you maintain that? Because nobody's turning 5 stars away. Like as great as Signetti's done with guys that may not have been the highest ranked recruits, you don't tell the best players, no, don't come play here. I don't want the best players. So I want to see if he can maintain this over a 2 to 3, 4 year period when kind of the guys who help build the foundation of the house is gone, and you have some more high-profile personalities hop in.
Well, and I know, and I've been critical of him, but certainly I thought this was his best coaching job this year with Mario Cristobal. We know what they're trying to do with Darian Mensah. I don't necessarily agree with it, but like I told Scott, I'm not going to criticize the player because, again, this is the system we have. But I'm going to be fascinated to see with Mario Cristobal because – and even during this year, he had a couple of hiccups because I honestly thought, maybe the first month he might have the best team in the country. They did not, but certainly played their best football down the stretch. What is your thoughts on Miami going forward?
Well, it kind of felt like they were playing with house money during this run because, they kind of backdoored their way in and
right.
Kind of saw the way the games went. You survive at A&M, and they deserve to be there. I'm not saying they didn't deserve to be there, but I mean, look, you won how many games in the last 2 years? I mean, Cristobal, despite his, the clock management woes that we've seen, some questionable decisions here or there. I mean, he's made a lot of the right moves. Obviously bringing in Cam Ward, right move. Bringing in Carson Beck ended up being the right move. Whereas bringing in Darian Mensah, the dude from Duke, guarantee it's probably the right move. And look, when you're that good in the line of scrimmage as consistently as what Mario Cristobal and Miami are, you're always going to give yourself a chance. So as much as it hurts today, and it's kind of easy to make fun of Cristobal this morning, I mean, the man's done a lot of really good stuff for Miami and really brought them back to being relevant and taken seriously. So, I think at the end of the day, you just lost the national title game by 6 points. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world for Miami going forward.
And you're someone that grew up here in the South. You grew up around the SEC. Your father was part of Auburn in the Southeastern Conference. Was a great player. There's a lot of people shoveling dirt on the SEC. I think they're going to come back with a vengeance. I freely admit the Big Ten's got the shine right now. They've won 3 in a row, but we haven't heard the last of the SEC. Your thoughts on where the SEC is right now?
Well, when you judge a conference, I hate just using one metric to judge a conference. I don't think you can do that. To me, there's pillars. I think you got to look at, obviously, you can throw who wins the national championship on there.
Right.
You can throw who has the best non-conference and postseason success in general on there, making the playoffs, winning bowl games, etc. Even though bowl games have changed, who gets the most players drafted? I think there's a lot of pillars that go on there, and I don't think you're ever going to see a conference dominate those pillars the way the SEC did from about 2005 to 2020, really, maybe even a couple years before or after that, because I don't think you can monopolize the sport anymore. Now, it's really impressive the Big Ten's won the last 3 national titles, but I don't think it's some, full takeover that now the SEC is just going to disappear. The truth is, guys, the SEC's getting out-coached.
Good point.
They're getting out-coached by staff. It seems like, and we talked about this with Josh Payton, and I think he brings up some good points. However you get there, whether it's just through the agents that end up making most of the hires, it just seems like the Big Ten has put together better coaching staffs than the SEC. And now that it's truly legal pay for play and more people want to get in the boat, there is a lot of money in the Big Ten Conference. I mean, it's one thing to have a lot of people, in some grassroots movement donate $10, but when the guy who, invented straws has $250 billion, it's pretty easy to go out there and put the players together.
And we're talking to Jake Crain, Crain and Cone. You can see it every day on YouTube via On3 Sports as they have made that move, as their brand continues to grow. And now, where are we with the college football playoff? We know they're trying to get something done by Friday. I don't know if that's basically according to what we hear, that's deadline is being mandated by ESPN. But what say you? I'm for the 16-team playoff and no buys. But where do you stand, and where do you think we're going?
Well, God, man, like, they're gonna go to 16. It's amazing. We still are not attacking the main problem of what we have in college football. And that's how we pick the teams that make the postseason. Like, the number of teams that makes the postseason is important, but the way we've gone about picking these teams is insane to me. It's absolutely insane that we don't the automatic buys. I've talked about this a million times. I wanted there to be an 18 college football playoff, no automatic bids. Then, you look at obviously what's going on with them talking about going to 24 teams or this, that, or the other. You're going to end up watering down and devaluing the regular season. But if we don't fix how we pick the teams, the number doesn't matter nearly as much.
Interesting. That's interesting. I mean, because there's a lot of people. I don't think we'll go to 24. I don't think the Big Ten is going to get what they want at 24. And I imagine next year we're still going to be at 12 because if these guys can't agree on anything with NIL and all that other stuff, I don't know how the heck they're going to agree on these playoff numbers.
Well, that's a totally different situation than itself. But if we can get Stalin, Churchill, and Roosevelt to agree on something, I don't know how this can't work out eventually. It seems to me in college football that we have a crash. We have a person with a broken arm and 2 collapsed lungs, and the first thing we want to fix is the broken arm when we show up at the wreck. I just don't understand it. Then everybody's like, oh, well, Notre Dame at getting this MOU that if they finish in the top 12, they automatically have to make a 12-team playoff. Well, duh. Why doesn't everybody do that? Isn't that the whole point? It's insane to me. We don't do that.
I know the one thing that
on something that's whatever, but I just hate the way we do this.
Yeah, the one thing in college football that doesn't need to be fixed right now, I think, is the playoffs. There's a lot of other stuff that needs to be fixed before the playoffs.
As the portal and player movement.
Yes.
Yeah, let's move the season up. Like, can we fix the calendar? Like, can we fix this other stuff and maybe let it breathe for a year, or like Lil Wayne said, let the beat build for a little bit.
Yeah, I completely agree. I want to see some adjustments there, no question about it. And finally, Jake, and again, you've done such an amazing job again, joining us on a weekly basis and giving your strong opinions. Is the game healthy right now of college football? Where is the game in your mind and where it sits?
Well, it's a good question. I would say the game is kind of like that person that's still younger and they look really good physically, but then you find out they really just eat candy and they're just genetically put together well, but as time's going to run out, they're going to look up and be 35 and look like one of the Addams family. That's what I kind of feel like it is. It's like they're running off vibes. And look, college football is, I think, unless some major political thing happens or the aliens come down and finally are tired of watching this show, college football is always going to be popular. But as far as a efficiency standpoint, as doing what's best for the sport, it just kind of feels like we're living in one of those times where there's like a bubble coming around the corner, like in real estate or finance or whatever. So I hope we can make some of the necessary changes to prolong the life of the sport we love.
Well, we certainly all love it. And Jake, we have enjoyed your input, and I'm sure we'll touch base again before we see you in Tampa, Florida, which will be right around the corner for us. And I'm sure even for when the March Madness comes around, because I know the Crain and Cone, they're going to be all over, the college basketball landscape as well, and part of that On3 Army. But again, we appreciate your time. Let everybody know how to follow you guys' show. And again, congrats on the move and the new platform.
Oh, thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all having me. And, looking forward to chopping it up with y'all soon. It's really easy. If you listen to your shows, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, it's Crain and Cone. If you watch them, just go to YouTube. Crain. I think you guys can spell Cone out there. It's a lot of fun. We got a big reaction show last night, kind of answered some of these same questions. So go check it out.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks, Jake.
All right, guys. Y'all be good.
Let's pay some bills. We'll wrap all this hour 2 stuff up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com. From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he can take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
Hey, everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see? Every moment can be kind of special. But they can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments. It doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings, in Hampton Cove and our latest location, now open in New Market on Winchester Road.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama, located online at universitykia.com.
As we get ready to wrap up hour number 2 here on Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, Tennessee and Josh Heupel have made it official. You've never heard of that one?
Never.
Oh, I have.
Sorry. I wasn't an ABBA person.
I don't know if I should admit that I've listened to ABBA a little bit or not.
You just did.
No, I just said, should I admit that I listened to it or should I not admit to it?
You just did, Scott.
Anyway, yes, I have. But no, I've heard that song.
I've heard of them, but I've never really listened. So I didn't know anything about the Fernando song. But
Fernando.
Congrats to Fernando.
Tennessee has dipped into, remember an hour or two, we were talking about how long Curt Cignetti can keep his staff together and all those pieces.
Cuban didn't just pay this dude to stay.
Yeah, Tennessee and Josh Heupel have made it official. They have hired Derek Owings, Indiana's strength coach, to be their new strength coach at Tennessee.
Interesting. I hope they still lose. 8-5, here we come. Goodbye, Josh.
All right, 256-576-4977. You can join us for hour 3. Tom Brew, who was at the game last night, will join us in hour 3 from Miami.
Yeah, he's going to join us via video. He's excited.
He's been good.
Write a book. I mean,
yeah, but he's joined us from the airport going to the Peach Bowl, and
I don't know if he lives in the state of Florida. I don't know if he made his way back home last night afterward, or if he stayed to party with some of his Indiana friends. Because I mean, certainly it was groundbreaking, and his story was excellent. Read it last night via Roundtable Sports, and now as he's told us, and we'll discuss it. He's going to write a book about this. This is amazing stuff, and it'll be interesting to see if and when it turns into a movie.
Gosh, so I know it's just hard to believe.
One of the craziest things I saw, Scott, you could probably Google it. Somebody put it up on social media last night, and they said, "Here is a picture of the crowd of the first Indiana home game under Curt Cignetti."
It's bare. It's bare.
It looked like an Alabama scrimmage where the Red Elephant Club is there. There's nobody in the stadium,
there,
bro.
It is still hard to believe, though, that Curt Cignetti and Gene Chizik are a trivia question.
Yeah.
I mean, Cignetti is the first head coach to win a national title within his first 2 seasons since Gene Chizik, 2010 at Auburn.
Yeah.
I mean, that is mind-blowing that those two, and
then 2 years later, the Chisel's 3-9 and goes 0-8 in the SEC.
I don't see this happening with Cignetti.
I don't see that. No.
I don't see it. All right,
Especially
hour 3.
being so bad in 2/3 of the league.
We're back for hour 3.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing, and they happen to real people.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck, is bigger better?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Do you want to be just a case number?
With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, we take the time to help.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. At the Aldridge Law Firm in the Legal Town Center, we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188. Just remember, we're here to help, whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete. We're here to help.
This hour of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by Hyundai Decatur, located on the Beltline.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, hour 3 is upon us. Big thank you to University Hyundai in Decatur. We want to see you drive away in a Hyundai. Do so soon. University Hyundai. One of the things that we've been talking about with this national championship is, all right, Indiana's done this. They've not done it with a lot of 5 stars. They didn't do it with a lot of 4 stars on their roster. They went out and filled it in. Got a lot of pieces from James Madison. They followed Kurt Signetti there. Maybe 1 stars, 2 stars if you're looking at it. Now, leading up to the national championship game yesterday, Nick Saban, who was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, got to talking about his time at Alabama and got to talking about 5 stars, 4 stars, and 3 stars, and it was pretty interesting. Here is a little bit of this conversation that Nick Saban put out there and talked about getting guys to Alabama and where they were when they got them and just how much the stars matter or don't matter.
They haven't played a close game in almost a month since the Big Ten championship.
Well, I got a little theory about the first part of what you said about the stars. We never ever looked, and I know Sig doesn't either, at how many stars a guy has. Because I think what you all need to do is look at who's giving out the stars. No! Yeah. They don't know their ass from a hand when it comes to what a football player is. So why would you as a coach depend on somebody who's not even a coach evaluating players to give them stars? I say all the time, Josh Jacobs had no stars. Damian Harris was a 5-star. They were both really good players, don't get me wrong, but Josh Jacobs was a first-round draft pick and Damian Harris was a third-round. Josh Jacobs still playing, Damian Harris is not. So when you evaluate the players on your own in terms of the criteria of what you're looking for at each position that fit in your system and the criteria of the kind of people you want to make the culture of your team what it is, which I think SIG has done a fantastic job of, because it's culture over system. I mean, if you don't have a good culture, you're never going to execute the system, no matter how good it is.
Nick Saban yesterday.
He's 100% correct. I mean, and Josh Jacobs was an unknown. I'm very proud to say that I played a very small role in getting him to the Power 4 college level into Tuscaloosa, because he was an outstanding player. And Damian Harris was solid and had 3,000 yards in his career, but he couldn't clean Josh Jacobs' bathroom. Watch both of them, bro. And one of the things that kind of infuriated me about his time in Tuscaloosa, and, there wasn't very many criticisms of Nick Saban, but I thought, during that Damian Harris's last year in Tuscaloosa, they made Damian Harris kind of the goal line back, when Alabama would get inside the 5, and I never understood it because Josh was such a tougher runner, more physical, and was a much better inside runner than Damian Harris, and it was obvious. And then it was obvious when both of them got drafted that Josh was the better player. It was kind of criminal that he only started 1 game in 3 years in Tuscaloosa. But again, he was a tremendous talent, no doubt about it. Better all-around player than Harris, who was good but wasn't great. And so, again, but Josh, that's a great example, though. Josh Jacobs was a guy that, was undervalued, didn't go to a lot of camps. But when you watch the film, it stood out. And when earlier in Saban's career, when he first got there, when Marcel Darius, I should say, came out of Huffman High School. He had academic problems, so a lot of people thought he wasn't going to qualify. But it was obvious he was a 3-star. But it was when you watch this tape, he was a monster, and went on to become an All-American at Alabama, a top 5 pick, and then played a long time in the NFL. So I mean, but Marcel, he was just a great talent, and was under the radar, and that happens a lot. I mean, we talked about the kid that from Houston County, the wide receiver that Alabama took yesterday. I've already seen fans say, well, they took him, but he's not very good. How the hell do you know? You've never even seen him practice at Alabama. Just because he's got 2 stars by his name, you numbskulls didn't know who Josh Jacobs was. Hey, why the hell are we recruiting him? I never heard of him. Only Missouri's offered him, and New Mexico and Tulsa. And then you realize once you see him practice at Alabama, whoops, the kid can play. And that's just the way it is. And then, there's another one. He didn't go to Alabama.
Right.
There was people wondering why Alabama offered Brock Purdy. Hello. Played in 2 Super Bowls.
Because he didn't have a lot of stars by his name.
He was too small. Don't know about his arm strength. Yada, yada, yada. Oh, I don't know. He just went and rewrote the record book at Iowa State, and he was Mr. Irrelevant. He's not anymore because he's certainly sure as hell not irrelevant to the San Francisco 49ers, and it's ironic because the 49ers botched it and didn't draft his backup third like they should have. Now the guy they should have drafted is his backup, but they're both good. But I mean, like I said,
Mac Jones fixing to get paid.
I doubt it. I mean, he'll be a backup for a long, long time though, and he's a good football player. He just, unfortunately, it's all about timing. He had a really good rookie year with Belichick, and then Belichick got off his medication and started hiring stupid people to.
Started dating a 20-year-old.
Well, I mean, he started hiring defense. It doesn't make sense to hire defensive coordinators to be offensive coordinators and all this kind of stuff. I mean, and then you didn't surround him with good enough talent, and and then Vrabel had to come in and clean up the mess, and certainly that's looking like a bonehead move by the Tennessee Titans firing Vrabel. Now they're fixing to hire Robert Saleh. We'll see if that works. He certainly, was not successful with the Jets, but we've seen coaches like a Bill Belichick not be successful with the Browns. And if you get with another organization, you can be highly successful. So we'll see.
Yeah, you mentioned that. And the Tennessee Titans are indeed finalizing an agreement to hire Robert Saleh to become their next head coach. He was at the Jets from 2021 until he was fired midway through the 24 season. His overall record in New York was 20-36 in 3+ seasons, 0 playoff appearances. He spent the remainder of the 24 season as an offensive consultant for Green Bay after he got fired from with the Jets, went to the Packers as an offensive consultant.
An offensive consultant?
As an offensive consultant.
What the hell are these people doing? He's a defensive coordinator.
Before returning to San Francisco in 25 for the second stint as the 49ers defensive coordinator. And of course, their run came to an end this past weekend in Seattle as the Seahawks blasted the 49ers in the divisional round. So
I thought the Niners did a great job, though, with all the injuries they had of overachieving. You didn't see them. It's kind of like Alabama. You just didn't see them getting to the end. And you got to give the Seahawks a lot of credit. And they went out and got Sam Darnold and got rid of Geno Smith, and they upgraded at the quarterback spot. And Darnold is another guy that sometimes you just got to get out of purgatory. You had to get out of the Jet, get away from the Jets. You had to get away from the Carolina Panthers, and you go to the Minnesota with a good supporting cast. You do a nice job, and then you parlay that into a free agent deal with the Seahawks. So and
now you're went away from getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you really are.
And by the way, in case you're wondering, the Dolphins hired Jeff Hafley as their head coach, the Packers defensive coordinator.
He's the former head coach of Boston College. He left Boston College to take that job with the.
You are indeed
the Green Bay Packers. It'll be interesting to see what he can do in Miami. I mean, I think Tua Tagovailoa's run is probably over. We'll see, what Tua's next stop is and if he can get another opportunity. And then Bryce Young. I would, I think Bryce took some steps forward, got Carolina to the playoffs. But would I welcome a trade to the Houston Texans? I certainly would.
You want C. Stroud out of Houston?
Get him the hell out. He's just another suck-eye quarterback with an L on his forehead because he sucks.
That was interesting. I mean, you go through and you start looking at all Ohio State quarterbacks, and because you asked during the break in hour one just who have been the best Ohio State quarterbacks in the NFL, and it's kind of hard to pinpoint one. And it is. Alabama went through that for a little bit, though, too.
Oh, for a long time.
They went through that for a little bit. I think a lot of teams do. Don't I mean?
Richard Todd was the last starter. Jeff Rutledge was a long time backup.
Yeah.
And then Nick Saban started flipping that script when he helped John Parker Wilson and Greg McElroy develop, and then they started upgrading and getting even more talented guys. And now they have several starters in the NFL, even though a couple of them need to get the hell out of where they are at.
Tua in Miami.
Both of them can play. Just they need to get.
You think Bryce needs to get out of Carolina?
Absolutely. I don't trust him.
Despite getting to the playoffs this past season.
Absolutely. Go to Houston. Get them to the Super Bowl.
Wow. How interesting would that be? Because remember, that was the debate. Houston, Carolina both won. You have the debate. Do you take C.J. Stroud or do you take Bryce Young? Do you take Bryce Young or do you take C.J. Stroud?
Well, of course, the Carolina Panthers a year ago were thinking that Bryce wasn't even the guy. They're so stupid.
Well, now this coming year, though, and there's going to be so much breakdown in the next 2 months, 2.5 months leading into the NFL draft. But Fernando Mendoza, I think last night, Tom Brady and the Las Vegas Raider brass and staff were on the sidelines last night at the national championship game, watching perhaps the number one pick, Fernando Mendoza, play. And no doubt Fernando Mendoza probably is going to be number one. But I tell you, it's hard not to like that Miami edge rusher as well. What was it, Bain? Last night? Reuben Bain. His motor's high, so his name is, he helped his cause, I think, last night as well. But no doubt, Fernando Mendoza will be number one. Question is, where does Ty Simpson fall in all of this? Because that is going to be the talk now for the next 2.5, 3 months as far as the quarterback spots go for the NFL draft, I believe. Coming up here, I'll tell you what, let's get a break in. Because when we come back, Indiana celebrating their national championship. Boy, they were partying. Did you see I call it Assembly Hall. And I know the name has changed a million times.
People there last night, look like.
I don't know if they've gotten 17,000 for a basketball game in a while there in Indiana. But Assembly Hall was rocking last night. Folks, they were standing in line overnight to get into some of the famous bars last night in Bloomington just to watch the game. And boy, the streets were filled in Bloomington last night celebrating this win. Tom Brew was in Miami. He woke up with us. I doubt he got a lot of sleep, but he will be with us next.
Now on the phone.
He will join us next to recap that win.
Yeah, speaking of, here we go.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, now with Lynn Layton Ford in Decatur, where we're jump-starting January with low rates, low payments, and low prices on a great selection of new Fords. Right now, you can get 2.9% financing for 60 months, plus $2,000 customer cash on 25 F-150s, or choose $4,000 in total rebates instead. We've got new 25 Explorers with 2.9% APR for 60 months, plus $1,500 in total cash. Get 4.9% financing for 60 months on your choice of any new 25 Ford Bronco. Or choose a $2,000 customer cash bonus to get a new 25 Bronco Sport starting at under $29,000. And there's never any hidden markups or dock fees. We hope to see you soon at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline in Decatur, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com. All offers on select new Ford models with your good credit. Bronco Sport stock number example 27715T. See us for all the details.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
More exciting than breakfast and a lot more enjoyable to cook, brunch is ideal for sharing.
Brunch with the Big Dog, the Tom Abraham Show. Weekdays starting at 10 on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I get it done last night due to the Indiana Hoosiers, first team in modern era college football. Got to say modern era because of old Yale back in the 1894s or whatever it was. First team to go 16-0 in the modern era. Remember, I think it was 2 years ago, during a press conference, Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian said, "We will never have a 16-0 team in college football because of all the things that are going on. There will never be a team that'll go undefeated in college football." And the Indiana Hoosiers have done that.
Well, we just that intro was one of the great movies of all time, and an underdog story in Rocky, and certainly Indiana was one going into Kurt Cignetti's first season 2 years ago, but now these 2 years have produced a 27-2 record, and I just call it the most remarkable turnaround in college football history. And the final chapter was written last night. Now, it'll be fascinating to see what Indiana does going forward, but there's no question that they're one of the best teams ever. What a run for them. What a great football game last night, too. I thought it was good for college football to see two really good football teams fight it out. And Indiana goes on a remarkable run, beats Miami on their home field, has to step up so many crucial moments, and they were up to the task. And we're going to talk about it with our next guest, who's, I'm sure, going to write a book. I texted him last night. I said, the final chapter is written. Congratulations. I can't wait to read it. And, of course, we're talking about the national managing editor of Roundtable Sports, Tom Brew, who was in Miami last night watching his Indiana Hoosiers make history. Tom, I know you're at the airport right now. I guess I'm sure you never slept. What a fortnight for Indiana.
Well, everything's all about facts, of course. So I did finally fall asleep about 3:30 a.m.
Okay. There you go. You did.
Slept until 6:15 a.m. So I got 2 hours and 45 minutes, and had to, of course, get up our post-game celebration photo gallery first, and got a column to write, and obviously, sadly, a lot of breaking news today too. So it's going to be a full day today. But yes, being there last night was just absolutely wonderful. I mean, it's I told you guys before in the 2 years we've been chatting, as an Indiana native and an IU grad from 1980, and as someone who's been in and around basketball success in Indiana, we just really never expected this in football. It was just Indiana football forever has always just been about something to do on a nice fall Saturday in beautiful Bloomington, Indiana, until basketball season started. That's all it was. A great season would be 5-6 going into the last game against Purdue, hoping that maybe you can get a bowl bid. That was the pinnacle of success for Indiana. And then, for what's gone on in these last 2 years, absolutely incredible. 27-2, the only 2 losses to the 2 teams that played in the national championship game last year. And of course, a perfect 16-0 this year. Never been done before. I corrected you guys on all that Yale stuff last week. 6 of those 16 wins.
Yeah, we're like club teams.
Yes.
We're against AAU teams. That'd be like Indiana beating Penn State on a Saturday and then playing the Bloomington YMCA on Wednesday and calling it a win. So,
yes, sir.
Unbelievable what they've done, especially in this day and age. Football is the ultimate of blue blood sports, and you guys know that from being there in the state of Alabama. I mean, it's it is run by the big boys, and for Indiana to break that mold and to have the year that they've had, and to go on a run, beating Ohio State and Alabama and Oregon and now Miami. That's 18, 27, 32 authentic national championships, and 50 if you go by the way some people count. It's to go through that blue blood stretch, and win a national championship, and especially in convincing fashion the way they did last night with huge plays by the offense, most notably Fernando Mendoza's 4th down touchdown run, huge plays by the defense, getting the Carson Beck pick, and then, of course, huge plays by special teams, blocking a punt and scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, perfect complimentary football.
You've kind of talked about it, but I mean, that Carson Beck pass goes up in the air, it's intercepted. I mean, it seals the game. The emotion, though, how much
Miami native, though.
Yeah, how much emotion just came out of you and everyone there. I mean, it's one thing to realize the dream of winning a national title, but when it actually happens, just the emotion that comes out.
Absolutely, and we were able to go down onto the field with 5 minutes to go in the game, so I was literally standing along the sidelines right down by that end zone.
Yeah.
And when I saw him back up, throw the pass, I mean, it was literally coming. I mean, the interception was made, 20 yards from me, and I saw the ball up in the air, and the guy was double covered. The receiver knew he was double covered and really wasn't, he had no chance of, that was just a really bad, decision to throw into double coverage for one, but also to throw it, 8-10 yards too short. But yeah, I kind of thought, in part of my pregame stuff that Indiana would force Carson Beck into a mistake at some point, and it obviously took 59 minutes and 40 seconds or whatever. But yeah, he finally threw the pick and sealed the deal. But yeah, no, perfect game. I give Miami a lot of credit. I mean, Indiana was unbelievable in the first half. Held them to 20 yards rushing, 69 yards total. They got a first down on their first 2 plays of their first drive of the game, then didn't get another first down for 26 minutes on the clock. I mean, they were 0 for 6 on 3rd down conversions. Indiana's defense was just shutting them down, but Miami came back, scored 21 points in the second half. Every time they got close, though, Indiana answered with a scoring drive of their own, and it was a great finish, and went right down the wire. And kudos to Indiana, 3 playoff games, guys, never trailed for a single second. Not the entire time.
Yeah, that to me is an amazing stat too, and I thought it really showed their mettle and that they were the best team in the country, because every time Miami made a play or or scored, Indiana came back and answered. And I think that's what championship teams do. And that's when you learn of, certainly that 0-1 Miami team is thought to be one of the best ever because they were so dominant. But again, college football has changed. There's a lot more parity in the game now. And for Indiana to do what they did, I just think was an amazing story. And I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed watching their team play. I like the way they play. Of course, they play just like Nick Saban. In Alabama used to play, and I couldn't keep from chuckling because Chuck Oliver show, great college football show you can hear here, for the majority of the week on 97.7 The Zone. And they were talking about Cignetti eating the same thing every day, wearing the same thing. Guess what? Nick Saban did the same stuff. And he learned from the master, and he's perfected it at Indiana. Now I really want to see him sustain it. I'd really like to see Indiana stay and be one of the top, because again, the Big Ten's top heavy. But now they've got another program that's joined that, for so long it was Michigan and Ohio State, and Oregon joined the league. I want to see if Indiana can stay where they are. That's going to be a fascinating thing to watch with Cignetti, because I certainly would expect him to. We talked about it this morning, Tom. I don't expect Indiana to go anywhere.
No, I don't either. And obviously they've got the number one ranked transfer portal class right now, and they're losing a lot of people, but they've got a lot of people coming back too. There's several guys who need to make a decision coming up, whether they go to the NFL or come back for another year. But obviously they're reloading pretty well. I mean, their transfer portal class is fills a lot of needs, and I think they will be competitive again next year. I mean, obviously it takes a special thing to win it all and to navigate, a 12-team playoff now. There's, there were a lot of very good teams this year that, didn't even make it to last night. And, and certainly the Big Ten will be very competitive at the top. I think, in the SEC next year, I mean, a lot of those teams will bounce back. And I think as a league, they got embarrassed pretty well this year that, in the big games that mattered, SEC teams, did not come through. And I think that'll certainly change next year too. Obviously, Notre Dame's going to be good. It's all going to be good. But, I saw the very first odds that came out today for 2026, and you got Indiana tied right up there at the top. So it'll be curious to see what happens. But even if they don't do well next year, it will never, ever, ever take away the fact that they are the 2025 national champions.
Tom Brew, kind enough to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, recapping last night's Indiana win. And Tom, before you came on, you said some breaking news, some headlines and stuff. You wake up this morning and now the portal is open for Indiana. We know Fernando's brother, Mendoza, he's in the portal, and Indiana losing their strength coach this morning.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee made him an offer he couldn't refuse, I guess. I haven't had enough time to verify it this morning, but I was told they doubled his salary. So it's it's something hard to answer to. And Indiana's got a great budget for things, but when someone comes at them with that kind of money, I guess it'll happen. But that's when you are successful, those things are going to happen, and and that'll be a loss. But they've got some people there that might be able to fill that in-house already. So we'll see how that goes. The Alberto Mendoza thing did not surprise me, other than the fact that I pulled him aside during media day on Saturday and 100% off the record asked him about the rumors that he was going to enter in the portal after the game. And he looked me right in the eye and 100% said, nope, I'm committed to Indiana next year. So, and then obviously that changed. So I think he probably just didn't want to bring it up before the game, didn't want to create any distractions before that game. But I have been told that he was very disappointed that Indiana went out and got Josh Hoover, that he really thought he had earned the right to be the starting quarterback next year. And, so I think he's going to look and see what his options are. I mean, obviously, even as a backup, he's got a decent little deal at Indiana, but I think he wants to play, and there are a lot of schools at a decent enough level that are going to be very interested in him. I think there's, I know Georgia Tech was mentioned this morning. I know of at least two other ACC schools that have an interest in him that we'll be calling this morning too, now that he's officially in the portal. Obviously, some leagues don't care about tampering or not, but some do. And I think now that he's officially in the portal where people can call, I think we'll see a lot of interest in Alberto Mendoza today. He's not as tall as Fernando. They list him as 6'2", and I don't think he is. But he's more athletic. He can run, and he's got a good arm too. He's certainly a good college quarterback, and he'll find a new home, but it'll kind of be disappointing. I was hoping that sort of Mendoza family line would continue at Indiana, but that's the way college football is these days. Somebody's going to pay him a couple $1 million to play quarterback for them next year, and you can never fault the kid for taking that kind of money.
No, you can't. I mean, and I know that they've stepped up and taken care of Curt Cignetti, but it sounds like, though, he's not going to lose any key staff members as far as on-field coaches as of this moment, right?
Correct. Yeah, they've all been given hefty raises. They've all signed those new deals, and all of them got nice bonuses last night too. Because in all of their contracts, including Curt Cignetti's, there are bonuses in every single one of those contracts for winning a national championship. So I think adding it all up last night, I think it's $2 million bonus for Cignetti, and I think for the coordinators, don't hold me to this, I might be wrong. I think both coordinators, their bonuses were $500,000 for winning last night, and then each of the other assistants, I think it was $100,000 for each of them. So they all got paid, and they're all very well paid. That was, and how this all worked for Indiana the last 2 years, that was part of it. I mean, Bryant Haynes, the defensive coordinator, has been with Cignetti for 12 years. Now he's the highest paid defensive coordinator in all of college football. And Mike Shanahan, the offensive coordinator, same thing, been with Cignetti for 10 years. He's gotten 3 raises since he's been in Indiana. And so he's, and they're all there to stay. A lot of the position coaches are staying too. And so I think the entire coaching staff will be back next year, although we'll see. There's a lot of guys on that staff who have NFL interests too. And with 10 new NFL coaching staffs that are going to be put together here in the next week or two, I won't say never for a lot of those guys, but I think they're obviously all very happy at Indiana. They love the group that they have, and I don't think many of them are really interested in leaving.
And that's a huge key. And but again, it's been a magical time, and certainly I congratulate Indiana. I really, I'll be the first to say I knew that I thought they were really good last year. I didn't know that they could take this next step, but certainly Curt Cignetti did it. He really kind of did the same thing Nick Saban did from 2008 to 2009. It's really kind of fascinating the way he's able to replicate it and do it at a school like IU. But I think it's good for the sport. It shows you. It also, I had someone kind of flip it on me last night. He said, well, I'll tell you this, Indiana is the best team in the country in football. But if Indiana can do this in football, then Alabama ought to be able to win a national championship in basketball. And I said, I see your point if you commit to something.
Sure, exactly. It's got to be a complete buy-in though, from top to bottom.
Totally.
And not to get too far off track, we don't want to spend too much time talking Alabama basketball this morning, but I think they're at least doing that part of it right. They've hired the right coach. I think Nate Oates is a great coach, and Alabama's lucky to have him. And they're spending, they spend enough money in the portal to grab some people. I mean, I think it's just a question of, and obviously we're just in the Final Four 2 years ago, so I mean, they've had that success, just haven't closed it out. So yeah, it's all very possible, and I quite frankly think it's easier to do in basketball than it is in football, because you can turn your entire team around with 1 or 2 players in basketball, and it really takes more of a complete team buy-in for football.
Yeah, it really does.
Well, should be a heck of a welcome home party in Bloomington. That is for sure. No doubt about that one.
Biggest crowd in Assembly Hall in a while.
Yeah, that was impressive.
No, that's not true.
We're joking.
Kicking around, but it was crazy.
But they certainly had. It was the most fun they had in Assembly Hall last night for a while. That part of it's true. But it was Bloomington. I asked all my Bloomington people last night since I was down here in Miami just to keep sending me pictures from everywhere.
Oh, wow.
The bars were full. Kirkwood Avenue, which is our sort of party street in Bloomington, was just rolling with people, and the celebration afterwards was just great. I mean, Indiana has won 24 national championships across all sports, but in this century, we have 3 soccer NCAA championships, and that's it. So we haven't won we never won a football until last night, and then obviously the last basketball was 1987, nearly 40 years ago. So it's been a long time since Indiana's been able to celebrate something really, really special like this. And so it's last night was great. Today's great. And as you guys know from celebrating Alabama national championships, you can't erase them. They never go away.
Nope.
Indiana will be the 2025 national champion forever.
Well, we
we
have greatly appreciated your time throughout this journey and your unique perspective, because there's no one more well-versed than yourself. I'm so glad we were able to hook up last year and then continue this relationship and watch Indiana grow into this national championship program. But we can't wait to read the book. I know you're gonna write one that's going to be outstanding, because you've had such a unique perspective with Indiana football. But we certainly appreciate it, Tom, and let everybody know how to read your work. And great job of coverage, and we certainly have appreciated it throughout this journey.
Yeah, thanks, guys. The easiest way is on Twitter, Tom Brew Sports. Just follow me there. The book, Googled him. He won. Will be coming out in late spring, and anybody who would want a copy of that, it'll be at every bookstore in the world. But if you follow me on Twitter and just send me a little note, I'm putting together an email list now for people who want book orders, and the day the books are done, we get them all sent right out. And I'm excited about writing it. I haven't written a book. I've written 4 books, but I haven't written one in 6 years. So I'm excited to get back at it. And then who knows? Maybe Alabama will call Alberto Mendoza. I hear they still need a quarterback. So, yeah, guys, I'm looking forward to keeping in touch. And certainly the next time I'm zipping through Huntsville, Alabama on one of my journeys, we got to get together for a meal or a cold drink or both.
Absolutely,
we'll do so.
Tom. Sounds good. Thanks, you, sir.
Tom.
Safe travels.
All right, guys, thank you. Have a great time, and thanks again for having me be part of your show for so long. I really, really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Tom
Thank
Brew,
you.
kind enough to wake up with us this morning. Let's get a break in. When we come back, we're going to get to the phone lines. We're going to get to your phone calls, and 256-576-4977.
Jimmy played.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not as cold tonight compared to what we've seen over the last couple of nights. Temperatures only dropping into the upper 20s. An increase in cloud cover. A mostly cloudy sky for your Wednesday. Temperatures climbing into the upper 40, lower 50s. But there is an opportunity for a little bit of rain on Wednesday afternoon. Better opportunities for rain on Thursday. Temperatures climbing into the low 50s.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The crimson and white jerseys.
Front court to the rack and the plunge.
The sound of a buzzer beater.
Got it to go as the buzzer sounds.
The Roll Tide chant from the crowd. It can only be Alabama basketball. Join the Alabama Crimson Tide right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome to Kern Electrical, where teamwork powers every project. Our champion sales team takes time to understand your needs, tailoring the perfect Generac generator for your home or business. Our project managers handle all coordination, ensuring a tackle-free installation. Our certified installation crews ensure peace of mind, even in the darkest moments. With our service and maintenance lineups, you can be assured we're with you every step of the way. Experience the home team advantage of Kern Electrical, your Generac superstore.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Dawn, what's that flower you have on?
I love it.
Could it be a
Tanya Tucker.
rose from days gone by?
Delta Dawn, Tanya Tucker.
Yeah.
See, I know that one. I asked
Give
you
me my Twitter account.
Hey, let's get out to the phone lines because I believe Jerry is still with us.
Oh,
and Jerry wanted to talk. He basically, when we had Tom Brew on, and Jerry wanted to kind of stay in that conversation, but he wanted to talk about the fourth down call, I believe.
Guts of a burglar there.
Guts, yeah, with Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback run. By the way, if you go back to earlier in the season, when Notre Dame played Miami, Notre Dame
won
ran
that game again.
Miami.
Yeah, 1988 didn't win anything again.
But Notre Dame ran. If you go back and watch it, Notre Dame ran a design quarterback run, almost identical to what Indiana ran last night. Same result as well. Different spot on the field. I think the Notre Dame one was about maybe 8 yards out, 7 yards out. Miami's or Indiana's was 12 yards out. Same result. Touchdown. Boom. Jerry is with us on the phone lines. Good morning, Jerry.
Morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning,
great show going on this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got to thinking last night when that fourth down play was made, and Sig, I saw it was so Saban-esque for him to call it, and he had the courage to do it. It was like when Saban did the onside kick against Clemson.
Yeah,
that's
a good call.
That's a good call. Yep.
Yes, sir. He had the courage to call that to get the scoring turned around where it would be in Alabama's favor because it was just a back and forth game.
Yes, sir.
And that game last night was a back and forth game. And but it come down to a decision: either we're going to score and win this thing, and we're going to push this thing into the end zone on a quarterback keeper because they hadn't run that play the whole game. And so Sig called the play, and they performed it, and they scored, and that changed the culture of the game right there when that fourth down touchdown score was made. And so it was so Saban-esque, and it makes you reminds you of him coaching under Saban and watching him and knowing the courage that Saban has had all these years to perform and put out a national championship team. And I was it just flipped my mind when I seen him get that end zone. And that was, and I just wanted to tell you, I admired the coach for calling it.
Great call, Jerry. Thanks for the phone call.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I tell you what, 9:41. I know we just got back, but let's take our final break because when we come back, we're going to tie that in the Saban-esque thing of Kurt Signetti and Nick Saban, and we'll tie it all in and ask a question in regards to Alabama football when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've been paying on that life insurance policy for years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore, or it's gotten a bit too expensive. Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693. A death benefit could be a life benefit. Learn more at 256-763-7693. If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com. From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live heartfully. Live Stella.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Oh, we may have to make that phone call to Brad Travis. We may have to make it because all these people on Twitter and everybody's a weather expert right now. Everybody's a weather expert. I love this one. It says, it may bring extended disruption. All three of our main weather models continue to coat much of Texas and South with hazardous and locally crippling ice totals.
Good Lord. Locally crippling.
Hazardous and locally crippling ice totals. Oh, we may have to make the phone call to the old Brad Travis. So anyway, I asked you this during the break because Kalen DeBoer has come into Alabama, and he's had the biggest shoes to fill in all of college football, regardless of what anybody says, because he replaced Nick Saban. But he's been his own guy. He's done his own way. He's done everything his own way. He's not tried to mimic Nick Saban. He's not tried to be Nick Saban. He's tried to be Kalen DeBoer throughout this whole process. Curt Cignetti is very Nick Saban-esque, and a lot of people did not know Curt Cignetti before this rise at Indiana. Would you rather have had somebody that come into Alabama and be Nick Saban-esque or be Kalen DeBoer, his own guy?
Just hire the best coach, man. That's what you got to do.
Right.
You got to hire somebody that's going to be themselves. I've always believed that.
You know, Alabama fans are going to say they didn't hire some Alabama, not all. Some are going to wake up this morning and say we didn't hire the right guy because we could have had Curt Cignetti.
Well, and Dan Lanning, he hasn't left Oregon. He's wanted to stay there. Cignetti was mostly an unknown until the last 2 years. And Mario Cristobal has had his own issues. I mean, he put together a good run this year, but he's definitely, been criticized, before. And then Lane Kiffin, I don't even want to talk about Lane Kiffin. No.
Well, we got to go out to the phone lines because I still think he's at the beach. LSU Lynch is with us.
I want to talk about Lane Kiffin, though.
Yeah. He had fun last night. He had fun yesterday because he had a few drinks in him along the way.
And we know now we're getting something by the end of the week. Maybe he's going to stay down.
Yeah. Good morning, sir.
But hey, look at Drew. I was wrong yesterday. I took Indy and
Me
straight
too.
up it was a pick 'em.
Yeah.
I didn't take the 8.5 and everything, but Look here, I didn't wake up with no ugly woman today. Y'all started talking about the weather. I went right downstairs. I'm staying till Friday.
There you go.
If I didn't have Havoc tickets, I'd be here. If I didn't have Havoc tickets Friday and Saturday night, I'd be down here another week.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I don't know with this weather forecast. I don't know.
Have you had some good seafood though? At least have you had some good food?
Well, see, you had Scott thinking about blackened shrimp.
I know. Oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
Look here, the bald-headed man got sunburned yesterday on this beach.
Gotta put that sunscreen on, brother.
Dude, it's been a wild trip down here, but look here. These old Mississippi fans down here, son, look here, they still butt hurt.
Uh-oh.
Butt hurt. Y'all
They're still bitter about Lane Kiffin, huh?
This Bloody Mary, go LSU.
Uh-oh. He's throwing some shade at the Ole Miss folk. They've
still butt hurt, he says.
Hey, I thought it was interesting, though. They were talking about the top 3 quarterbacks for the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson, and then
your boy, Trinidad Chambliss.
Yeah. Hey, Houston Texans, if you don't trade for Bryce Young, hurry the hell up and draft Trinidad Chambliss so you can get CJ Interception out of town. Because that SOB is never going to get any better. He sucks. SUCKS. Sucks.
Is he SOFT?
Well, what he is he's TERRIBLE.
Turble?
Yes.
Turble?
He's basically Vince Young's other brother, Daryl. One good year and then F. So get him the hell out of town. If you don't want to waste a great defense and a really good head coach in D'Amico Ryans, you want to make a Super Bowl run before he goes to Alabama to be the next head coach if Galen DeBoer fails.
Quick shout out real fast. Alabama A&M men, they get it done over their rivals last night on the road in basketball, 73-69. Bulldogs now 3-2 in
that would be
SWAC
Alabama
play.
State.
It would be Alabama State. Yeah, they got by the Hornets.
Good win.
Yeah, it is a big win. Sammy Pieces, 22 points. Bulldogs with 3 players in double figures last night. So congratulations to Alabama A&M as they get it done on the men's side last night. So big win for them. Big win.
Yep, totally.
All right, now don't forget, coming up tonight, you got. Boy, we are just. First of all, we're spelling turble, and
I didn't. I mean, you're using the Charles Barkley version, man.
I know.
From Frank Caliendo.
Oh, man. Can we get John Gruden back in football just so we can have him do impressions? I mean, we need that back. Anyway, college basketball, you do get Florida tonight and LSU. You got South Carolina, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Vanderbilt. I know we went over this with Blake Lovell in hour 1, but if you were not with us, you got Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Georgia, and then Auburn traveling to Ole Miss. That's your 8 o'clock. Your 2 8 o'clock games are Georgia, Missouri, Auburn, Ole Miss. I should say 3 8 o'clock games. Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Georgia, Missouri, Auburn, Ole Miss at 8 o'clock. And then your 2 6 o'clocks, LSU, Florida, and Oklahoma, South Carolina. So that's your basketball lineup for tonight in the Southeastern Conference.
And Alabama will be off until Saturday when the Tennessee Volunteers come to town. Tide hadn't won since 2022 over the Vomit, so they need to get back out on the horse and beat the hell out of them.
Are you going?
No, I cannot go. Well, I don't know. I don't think so because Huntsville High is supposed to play Prattville, but then we've got something out there. So who the hell knows what that's going to do.
We've got hazardous. We've got conditions at this point.
Everything up.
Yeah. Snow totals does not look well. I don't know.
Here we go.
It just depends on which forecast you look at. Mm-hmm. One forecast says we could see snow and we could see ice. We could see significant ice. We may not see significant ice. I don't know. We could see snow. We could see something. That's all I know. Because they don't know. Because it's too early. Oh, okay. James Spann says global models remain very consistent for a potential of high-impact winter storm for the northern half of Alabama this weekend. The best chance of snow with this event will be across the Tennessee Valley, north of the Tennessee River. It's possible some communities could see 2 to 4 inches of snow.
Well, it's possible. It's also possible for you to come out to Huntsville High tonight and see the Crimson Panthers play against Chris Graves and the Albertville Aggies, 2 high-level basketball teams with 6 losses between them, 2 of the top 4 teams in all of 7A basketball. Come out, watch these teams compete tonight. It'll be at 7:30 over at the Huntsville Panthers Arena over on Billy Watkins Avenue. What a great way to spend an evening, and there won't be any ice and snow tonight, so there won't be something that interferes with this game.
Get this one in for sure.
Yeah.
You can get this one in for sure.
I still say you'll get the game in on Friday against Grissom. We'll see on Saturday. So my plans are in flux.
All right.
And I'm going to give my brother a belated birthday shout out. My brother Ryan, who's his birthday yesterday.
Cody Myers on Facebook says he's no weather expert.
Yep.
But he did go out and buy a generator yesterday.
So he's buying a generator, huh?
So he bought a generator in preparing for what we have coming up on Friday and Saturday. This means you do realize by Wednesday and Thursday, the bread and milk will all be sold out at the grocery stores.
Yeah. Not freaking out over this. Sorry. Stay open, restaurants, or I can just lose 50 pounds.
Well, make sure you have that alcohol for your windows.
Yeah, I probably need that.
All right. Well, that's going to do it.
Might be doing the show remotely.
That's going to do it for Wednesday or Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, Scott.
I know. We'll get through Wednesday tomorrow.
Yes, we will.
We got a lot of stuff to do today. We got a lot of stuff going on today. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.